Hey, Kelf, and have a good babysitting afternoon. Thank you for the thanks and the stopping by. Hey, Party Web Games. Milady Saito with the raid of 9. Thank you for the raid. Should we discuss? Oh, okay. Alright. Pat, I'm going to have to ask something of you. After Javi refreshes, could you also refresh? Because that'll fix the cameras. Yay. Really fast, Pat, though, refresh for me, and then we'll transition. Nice. And, yeah, I'm gonna... Yeah, actually, hold on. And we're audio live. Thank you everyone for coming through as I exclamation mark links, exclamation mark quick start, exclamation mark Kickstarter. No, wait, that's not what it is. It's change stars. Hey everybody. We are about to go live with a very special session, and I'm going to disappear into the background as I click the transition button, and we see an office map entirely unchanged from the last time it was seen. As
right, I need to get into Batroll 20.
The nightmare.
I would like to admire your restraint, Pat, for not making a joke at Lee pressing the transition button.
No, we already know the joke I would tell. It's not funny the umpteenth time when or the 1000th time. Now I'm just
sometimes you gotta pick the low hanging fruit. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, look, I will hit the low hanging fruit when it comes up in my mirror. Don't worry. I'm just letting Lee sink into Lee's own state at the moment.
My ozone state?
Yes.
I
whatever.
feel like, am I being damaged by carbon emissions?
Totally.
If I was the ozone, I would not.
Also, the vaccine, by the way.
Oh no, the 5G is tearing me apart. Y'all gonna get UV radiation out the wazoo.
Have you seen your cat ears yet? They'll be coming pretty soon. Don't worry.
What do you mean?
Unless you got the special one that gives you the bunny ears, which I hear are absolutely a thing.
Amazing.
Wow, I'm impressed not just their bunny ears, but that they're like dark purple bunny ears.
Thank you. I try.
Feel vaguely menacing, which is impressive for a set of bunny ears.
Yes, my vaguely menacing bunny ears. Thank you. Very happy you enjoy them. Okay, so let me just take a breath. Yes. So, did any of you have questions, now that we're on air, that you would like me to answer with regards to the lore dump? I know that Lee answered quite a few of them. I read some of that. You're welcome to ask me them again, and you're also welcome to tell me what Lee said, and I can confirm that, because I already said that I would.
I mean, I think the very short version of the most salient points is he went over how voter registration worked, and the potential loopholes in that, namely that you can just kind of show up at a certain place and say, I want to be in the Trinity, and the Trinity would be like, hey, here's a provisional ID just to make sure you're not like doing anything sketchy until you get a normal one. But because things are slow on the frontier, sometimes it takes a while to get the true ID so you can vote with a provisional ID. And so the thing we're worried about is provisional IDs that don't have a suspicious provisional ID that would be denied upon review stage being used to vote before the review stage.
Yes.
I guess I'm still kind of confused about how we're supposed to prove voter fraud. It seems like we could either have James do a bunch of spot checks, which would be boring, or we're just like blindly kind of stabbing at places in the dunes to see if we'll uncover a hive of corruption with fake IDs. Like, doesn't seem like there's a great way for us to do our jobs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, the reason that this hasn't been answered before is there isn't a great answer as to how one might go about kind of universally proving voter fraud. It's a kind of nebulous threat, but it is definitely something that can be handled. It's just kind of, probably a lot of paperwork that needs to be done, and also if you were to find kind of someone doing it, then you'd have some obvious recourse.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, the boring, logical way to do this, that I'm not going to do because it would make for incredibly boring tabletop playing, would be to do, 100 spot checks. And if a significant number of them are false, then that is enough to probably raise some red flags and call some stuff off.
Spot checks already. You're not saying anything that I didn't already
so
point out.
If we had a large enough percentage of the spot checks turn out false, we could say clearly there's a big issue here. Not just hypothetically, there is. We've proven there is an issue. So call a delay election or some such.
Yes, that could be possible.
That's the boring way to do this. Let's not do that because that's really boring.
Alternatively, you have so when you were out in the junk towns, the Rast town particularly, you found that there was kind of an operation underway. Someone was actively hacking their registration site.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, James found that he didn't share it with us.
Yeah, I assume I did while we were in our meeting after the fact, because I would have.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So now having learned of this, you would be able to know that there were a lot of back doors into that, and if you were able to trace those, you could possibly find someone in the act, which would be a lot easier than kind of just checking everybody's ID.
As I believe they call it in election fraud detection, in flagrante delicto.
Mm-hmm.
And do you remember why we were going to go see Garcia?
It was because Max's Rast friend was like, or Rast bookie was like, yo, if you're a betting person, I'd put money on this lady.
It was not
James,
the Rast
are you
bookie,
Pat?
it was an ambassador, or the ambassador from the Confederation.
So there was no better and or additional reason. That was it. That was the entire reason. Like, I thought that there was something better. I mean, I guess it's still worth a visit, but...
I mean, you are in town. You could stop by her office. It is really not far. You've spoken with Madame Storm, but you haven't spoken with Garcia yet. Madame Storm kind of just forced herself into the picture, but Garcia is presumably at her office doing legitimate work.
Presumably.
Presumably.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I still think we should go see Garcia just to take her measure and get, a suspicion reading about how much we should investigate her. Because Storm is incredibly suspicious in every possible way.
Fair enough.
Which, according to the laws of mystery, would mean she didn't do it. But there are only 3 people, so I'm really not going to rule it out.
I mean, it is possible. however unlikely, that none of them are knowingly benefiting from voter fraud, but there's an external organization that is pushing one of them without their knowledge for their own benefit.
Pretty clear that those Rast were in bed with someone who'd made them promises about, the future of this planet.
That could be the future, that could be the organization. You don't know. The Illuminati's behind it all, Madeline.
No, I mean, my point is that I'm pretty sure they made deals with one of the political candidates in advance. It didn't seem like they were, going to manipulate the situation and then wait for someone to come to them. Like, that's not how you do business, is harassed.
That's pretty money up front. That's the Rastian commandment number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Very true, very true. So, let's go ahead then. And if you would like to make a house call to Garcia, you certainly can. But before we get that far, let me just kind of fill the audience in, because I don't know if everybody here caught 2 weeks ago when we started this, but let me give a brief spiel. So, real quick, if everybody here who is now here wants to know what's going on, once a flourishing wartime way station between civilization and the front, both for the human empire in its war of aggression against the Trailward Sister Species Coalition and the later Sister Species campaign Spinward, New Neo Roanoke is no longer the center of the galaxy. That's right, folks, the planet has gained instability, what it has lost in grandeur, becoming one of the largest recycling sites in the frontier. Indeed, the planet is a veritable graveyard of Imperial and Mirage ships alike, and due to the innumerable conflicts and intentional mass scuttlings and military buildups it saw during its heyday, to facilitate the planetary cleansing process, ship the parts off into orbit, many of which are transferred over to the massive shipyards of nearby Ichthus Station. The old human empire space shuttle at Roanoke City uplifts tons of junk on a daily basis brought from recycling plants on the periphery of the city into a network of trashers or junkers who scour the junk dunes for usable salvage before collecting the metals in bulk. Though the Trinity strives to meet the physical needs of the people, a surge of mounting discontent has grown to an unignorable front in the recent years. Centurion war veterans and fresh faces alike bemoan their homes' decline in status and yearn for a misremembered era of self-determination and an escape from the grim realities of cleaning up the mess left behind them by the previous generations. In the planet's sole developed urban site, in the junk-side shanty towns alike, people crave change. Now with the election of the new Secretary of Systems Administrations, or SSA, impending, watchdog groups within the Trinity express concern over the outcomes of what could easily become a contested event. With the Truthless incumbent, Shira Redfern, expected to lose by a landslide, the eyes of the Trinity now turn to the realist candidate, Aliana Storm, Madam Storm, and the dark horse redemptionist candidate, Iyawa Garcia, or Madam Garcia, as the future arbiters of mother's will in the system. And what happened last week is our crew joined forces, both an outside Trinity force sent here to investigate the election, as well as the existing establishment group here to ensure that the election went off without a hitch. Now, the two of them have been looking around to investigate what they assume may be voter fraud, as a surge of voters have recently claimed legitimacy on the outskirts of town, ignored by Shira Redfern, but now coming out in droves for Iyawa Garcia and Aliana Storm, predominantly for Madam Storm. They visited a town in the shanties, or shanty town in the junk dunes by the name of Rast Town, due to its high population of Rast, kind of a shitty name. And they found that there were indeed some kind of sketchy things going on, and now they have returned to their office where they will pursue further agendas. And that is where we catch up on our motley crew of election validators. So y'all want to go see Garth?
All right. Yes, and I'm a very legitimate election official.
Yes. As an outsider brought in from the, to provide a Rastian perspective on elections, we have a very legitimate electioneer.
Who everyone trusts.
It's called an election repairman. I fix them.
Everybody should be clear, trusts Max's character. Not a single person does not. It is just unspoken.
It's because I'm a very trustworthy person, and it rubs off on the way I play my character.
Absolutely rubs off.
Right.
So, your local representative, by the way, Lynchpin, is going to stay and kind of oversee things with a couple representatives who've come in to speak to it. And the four of you now are working in tandem to achieve whatever other goals you may have. Which I'm assuming include going to see Garcia. I'm sorry. I'll stop acting like there's more decision to be made.
Yes, so, we're going to see Garcia. We'll bring Cherry.
Indeed. To the city map. Let me see. Let me make sure that there's some music playing. I'm not actually hearing anything. So let's see. Classic remix theme song. Is that? What is that song? I don't know about that one. I'm gonna play. Actually, no. I'm gonna play Change Stars. Oh.
I can't believe there's a station named Marcus Kahn.
Pat, maybe hold off on the music for just a second.
Oh, no music?
Just a second.
Okay. All right. So the team now depart the paperwork party. I love that. So the paperwork party is now moving through the down from their office and out towards kind of the general region. And on their way to Garcia's office, they find themselves in a... Lee, are you here to help me with this one? Because I need to quickly populate a map.
Yeah, what map are we going to?
The forum, please. I'll put whoever's there on the... Just put random citizens everywhere.
Sure.
Thank you very much. So you all walk down to the bottom of your building, and you find that there's a bit of a commotion on the street outside. The office building of Garcia is not more than a couple blocks away, but in the local forum, there seems to be a gathering of folks. You've been in your office now for a couple of hours. The morning has turned into night or into evening, and you know that you maybe only have a couple hours to go speak to Garcia, but there is some commotion on the streets.
Frederick Unger?
Are you on the map now? Yeah, I guess you are. I moved you there. Yes. Sorry about that. Yes, Frederick Unger is indeed at his podium on the streets, and you lot all arrive down to the south. Yeah, you can hear him now at his podium, and he's got a whole bunch of people gathered round as he delivers an impassioned sermon to the flock.
I thought he was not the priest. Like that's
he is not the priest. I'm using very religious terminology to describe him. Giving a campaign speech on behalf of Madame Storm.
Okay, I mean...
Too long have we toiled under the oppression of robotic reigns. Now, friends, brothers, sisters, we must rise up in support of the coming storm. Yes, now is our time. Now we shall have our voices heard. Humans, people, you must understand that we have no better opportunity than now. We have no better candidate than her to return us to our once glorious status amongst the stars. That sort of bullshit.
What is the mood of the crowd?
Generally in favor. Everybody you see is kind of roaring in applause and moved by the words that he's saying. You see quite a few people who seem to be urbanites here. It's predominantly urbanites, actually. You might have expected more junkers, but no, these are just locals, city folks.
Are there any Rast in this crowd?
There are no Rast in the crowd.
Okay.
It's entirely human, actually. You know that the population of this city or of this planet is predominantly human, yes, but usually in large groups like this, you would find it to be more species mixed. But this is
maybe not in separatist rallies. I think there are some separatist Thrin. I know that Storm is married to one, but it's not common.
It is definitely not common.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing where Waddle Beep Boop sees it and is like, I'm going to cross the street to avoid this sort of shit.
Yeah, so you can proceed across the map. I'm not going to stop you. Gotta go to the other side.
Yeah,
is the golden door
honestly,
the door too?
This just seems like normal political unrest. It doesn't seem like electoral fraud.
Yeah, the golden door is indeed the place you gotta get to. As you're walking over though, he would actually stop and see you, Mr. Unger, and he would point and he would say, "Look there, friends. Those are the people who will steal this election from us. Those there are the high and mighty Trinity, exerting their will against us common folk of the soil. You look and mark them well, brothers, sisters, for they are your enemy. They will steal your right to vote."
I am going to look at him dead in the eyes and say, I've lived here longer than you've been alive. Stop talking about me like that. And then I'm going to continue walking.
And yet you serve the oppressor. How interesting that is. How did they buy your soul? With honeyed words, with luxury coupons? It's not true freedom, brother. True freedom is self-determination.
Freedom if it bit you in the ass.
Do you want to beat my ass? Then come up here on the stage and beat it in front of them. Show them all what the Trinity is made of.
Waddle Bee giggles. He's like 50 feet away from anyone, though, so hopefully no one hears.
I am just keeping on walking.
Very well, very well. Does everybody else proceed?
Now I kind of do feel like you should hack into his stuff. I still don't think he's behind anything, but, Blake, I think you should do it.
That's right. Go on. Walk away. Walk away. Ignore us. Like the Trinity always has.
Some of us actually do jobs as opposed to standing around and doing nothing. I don't know if you've heard of
humanities work.
Working is generally a good thing.
Sounds communist. He doesn't actually say that.
Sounds like communist propaganda, but okay.
Sure, keep working for that robotic overlord we serve. Toil away for her callous hands. Well, claws, really. Because robots don't have hands. My people.
Mother of Steel.
Mother is a computer. She doesn't have...
Yeah, my character pretty much says that. It's like, Mother of Steel's like a mainframe. It doesn't have any appendages.
Sure, someone who serves a robot would easily believe that to be true, but I have seen many a robot.
I'm an independent contractor. Don't lump me in with these chuckle fucks.
Look at you, like...
I shrug.
So, do a lot of you have any more words for Mr. Unger, who is friendly?
Crowd to actual violence.
He's not told his crowd to attack you. He's waiting for you to attack him. He's trying to rally you up.
I'm doing my job. Just heading in.
He's not. He's. Are we thinking we're just gonna fucking like punch him in the face? Like, no.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I really want to punch him in the face.
You're welcome to
My
do
fists
so.
are small. I wouldn't do anything.
And I mean, we're definitely gonna do at least a cursory investigation of him later.
Go on. Keep walking. Go back to your masters up in your high towers. Go consult with political candidates like... He looks over the door and he points. Madame Garcia, who is merely a puppet of the current regime. Have fun. Do your back alley dealings, while we, the people of the soil, continue to strive towards peace and freedom.
Waddle B mutters, yeah, a lot of fucking soil here in the city
Disdainful
center.
look at urbanites.
Yeah.
This guy.
There are a whole bunch of young, red-blooded urbanites, really. Some of them are wearing cowboy hats to appear less urban.
Oh god, so much worse.
And I'm assuming y'all move up towards the north.
Yeah. And I'm like, Van Campen, like, definitely gonna do a, background check on that guy.
I
Step
assume he
forward,
has
you
all the
hear the
proper
sound of the
permits,
door opening.
So I can't do nothing.
Sorry, what?
I said I'm assuming he has all the proper permits, right? For his
Not what
whatever
a
he's
background
doing right
check
now.
is. I want you to investigate him in case he's involved in electoral fraud. Which is your job. He may or may not be, but he does seem like someone who would be okay with it if it meant getting the Trinity out of here. Ergo, a suspect, one might say, in the issue we are pursuing.
Gaggers, thank you for the raid.
Here's a question. Where does he live? Because he clearly isn't home right now.
Yeah, he does have a
Does he
home.
live in
And
this plaza?
it is not this plaza. It is... Let me see. Let me look in the map real quick. He
Because I'm
lives
just
out...
saying, he's clearly not home right now, and I don't know what the Trinity rules are on,
Home
Mormon
invasion?
church.
They're not
Houses?
favorable.
But I just gotta say real quick, I'm not part of the Trinity.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is true. Lee,
So
where did
I'm
you
just
say
gonna
that
say,
that,
what if I just go
that
to
kind of
lunch real
industrial
quick
sprawl
while you
was?
guys go talk to this guy?
The yards.
Ah, yes.
And then if I happen to
the
figure anything
yard.
out at lunch, who is to say where I find it out?
Yeah, so he actually lives a little bit to the south of here, closer to the space elevator. It's an old industrial site. Not very many people live out there, except those who work there. But he seems to have a residence there in spite of not working there.
Interesting.
Awesome. Suspicious.
But y'all are at the y'all are at the compass point, the kind of center, or actually the Tower Heights. Sorry, the right next door, where a lot of people live, including your lovely Garcia, who has an office building very akin to one you might be familiar with.
Oh, slick. I was gonna put them in the imagination zone.
Totally different office building, but very similar. Down to the kind of similar looking friend assistant, who immediately you recognize as the twin sibling of the office worker who works in your office.
Yeah, but is this the one from the Tri-Moon area?
No.
So when you get a moment, refresh.
Wait, do you want me to refresh?
Get a moment, your cam slot is presently swapped with Javi's.
Oh no! Okay, I'm refreshing.
Well, I walk in, I do a little swagger.
I thought you meant refresh my roll 20, so I did that first. But
I
yeah,
would go up to the desk and I would be like, "Hello, we're here to speak to the candidate." Except Rass, so me slamming my fist on the desk is more like, "Hello."
you can like kind of reach up and you tap your hand on the desk. she's filing her nails. Actually, no. It's even worse. She's got her feet up on the desk and she's filing her hooves.
I'm here for it. This person's got raspy more aesthetic.
Yeah. Okay. So she's not in a meeting right now. But let me check to see if she's got some availability to speak with you. She's kind of busy because she's campaigning to be the secretary.
I flash my badge and I'm like, Electoral Integrity Commission. I think she'll see us.
Her hooves drop to the floor
doesn't...
and she looks you right in the eye and she's like, I'm sorry. Shit. Let me go just hold on for a minute, okay? I'll just 1 minute.
And I look at Van Camp and I'm like, what's the digital equivalent of shredding all the papers? Is there a more fun term than deleting files?
I would say flushing files is the term that's predominantly used. Or clearing the slate sometimes.
So you have a clean slate.
Yeah, and you hear some talking, and you hear some hushed words, and then some louder words. The one kind of word you hear kind of more, or the sentence that you hear kind of repeated twice is just well, of course let them in. Well, of course let them in. Kind of strange that you heard it twice, though.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the intervening sentence was, but what about the tigers and all of the fraud?
But what about the fraud?
But what about the fucking fraud and the tigers? More?
What about your poster that says, I'm doing voter fraud and here's the evidence?
It's only one of the 10 screensavers that rotate. It's fine. We probably won't be here that long.
Yeah,
right,
the secretary comes out and she says, yeah, okay, so she'll see you now. Sorry about that issue earlier. No, please walk down that hall, right down that way. I'd show you in, but these office buildings are all built the same way. I'm sure you know how to get there. Well, I just pressed some buttons on my screen that you can't see. She doesn't actually say that out loud.
All right. Oh no, I've been trampled.
Yeah, well, you're welcome to move yourselves into the room.
So it's this one, our conference room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not your conference room, Garcia's conference room. Thank you.
Yeah, can't you tell this is an entirely different building?
Totally different. And there you see Madame Garcia standing prominently at the center of the large board meeting room. And she looks at the four of you and says, well, feel free to sit down. Welcome to my office. How can I help?
Thank you for meeting with us, Madame Garcia. As you know, we've been tasked with checking up on the election given the vast influx of new citizens who've suddenly registered in a way we don't have time to systematically verify. So we'd just like to ask you some questions about your work in the, what do we call it, the junk towns? Is the dunes the name for the whole area?
They call them the junk dunes, and the towns that are created on the sides are often called trash towns. It's not a positive connoted word, though. A lot of the times they just call them new communities or kind of words like that.
Okay.
New communities is like
you're working the new communities.
Perfectly correct. Yes. No. Thank you for coming. The integrity of this election is of the utmost importance to me. I believe that my fellow candidates agree with this as well. Otherwise, I'm sure they would not be running for such an important logistical position as secretary. Feel free to ask me anything, and I will answer all of your concerns as well as I'm able to. I have been working with the new communities to ensure a proper transition from marginalization to full registration, alongside my fellow candidate, Madam Storm. And I believe that she and I share the same ideals to an extent for this planet, insofar as we both wish for the good of the populace overall to be heard.
So, how do you register people in these communities?
It's a long and arduous process, person by person. We go to a new community, we ensure that everybody there has an opportunity to register if they don't have slates. We provide them with whatever we have on hand. A lot of times it involves giving them a comm box instead of a slate, but we just, we do what we can to ensure that the communities have the supplies that they need in order to be registered and vote.
Interesting. What do you have on hand in
Well,
terms
we
of
do
slates
have-
or comm boxes?
We do have a large supply of comm boxes. They are, as you know, much cheaper to produce than slates. I'm not personally in possession of any of them. They do belong to the state, of course, and they're held at a location not around here. I could give you the location.
Yes, I'd like that information.
Absolutely. And she gives you like a warehouse number. It's kind of it's out actually towards the yards.
Okay, and then I guess it sort of stop if it gets Mr. Van Kampen, how many new voters have been registered for this election from the new communities?
It's in the
Do I have that
thousands.
information on hand? Do I have? Yeah.
You'd probably be able to determine that with not very much power. If you'd like to do it quickly, though, I would say probably a systems check would help you with that.
Okay. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I mean, my follow-up question for her is going to be, how many of these communities have you or your staff members personally visited?
I'm about to edge that forward.
You want to put yourself up an edge?
Yep. I do not fail systems.
Woo!
check.
Fucking A! Alright, yeah, no, you have it down to the number and you do it really quickly. What would you like to do your systems twist on? Yeah, you got a twist.
So one of them's gonna be to do it quickly. One of them, and then it's just gonna be extra information, and so like the details of the counties that they're registered in or whatever.
Mhm.
And I don't know what other systems twists you can
I
do.
feel like you're ignoring what a super twist is. Like, you should get one really good thing instead of 3 level 1 Chuck E. Cheese
but I want-
prices.
But I want to do them. I'd want to do it quickly, which instantly takes away the super twist.
Yeah. Well, actually, the role in the beginning, Lee, you're here with us, right? What sort of if you are here, what sort of super twists are available for a systems check?
Well, you see, for the super twist, you could pull up the information just so perfectly that it takes very little time at all in this particular instance, as you would draw it from the database and then get an automatic success on the next similar systems test you make.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
so
I think I'm gonna
it's
go
more or
with
less
go fast.
go fast and do it well,
go fast,
and then
no more stuff, and do this better in the future, so I can just continually, anytime I want to, check the voter rolls.
I mean, you
Sounds
automatically
perfect.
succeed as a basis. All of that is covered in a super twist.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So you do that. You succeed. You do it quickly, and you are well aware of what the number is, so you can do it again anytime you'd like. So what that amounts to is you give her a number. It's in the thousands. The new
And then I'm just gonna
citizens.
list out They're registered in this county and this county.
No,
this
stop,
county.
Mr. Van Kampen. Only the information I asked for. Let's stick with the number for now.
Let's say for 4,342.
Okay.
How much is that
4,342.
proportionally to the population that was already registered?
There were probably like there was maybe 20,000 registered citizens of this planet. Maybe a little more.
Yeah,
So
we'll
we
just
added a
assume-
fifth.
Of the city, actually. Let's just say 20,000 residents of the city and surrounding area, and then 4,342 are new.
Okay, so Madam Garcia, how many of these the new communities, did you and your staff visit personally?
Well, this has been a long process. It's taken about 6 years to go about re-enfranchising these outside communities, and I personally have visited probably 12 to 14 new communities, and I've encountered many people therein. A lot of them were just unregistered, and a lot of people born out in the junk towns didn't have any sort of means of getting to a local hospital in the city. They didn't have one outside. They weren't able to be registered there. And it's, this neglect has been going on for well over 15 years. There are people that are able to vote now that were never registered in hospitals in any sort of official capacity. It's quite frankly extreme neglect, and one of the reasons that I personally believe that we need to treat mother as more of a guiding rule as opposed to someone who dictates our very life, because that can lead to serious neglect, as is evinced by this simply appalling lack of empathy.
So you think the neglect is due to mother and not due to Redfern's, neglection of informing mother about the problem she could clearly see?
It's a bit of both. I think that the system in place right now that puts too much emphasis on strict adherence to mother's rules is absolutely one of the core causes of this, and I would furthermore accuse Madam Redford of neglecting in her duty to inform mother of these clear trespasses against the Trinity's desired outcomes for this planet.
So, how many people would you say lived in the communities that you registered? What's the average size of a new community?
New communities can vary in size depending on the work that's there and the population birth rate. I would say the ones that I've visited number in the hundreds.
So, in your educated opinion, you think that about 4,000 new voters is an accurate reflection of the people who are going undocumented under the past regime?
I think that, considering the amount of people that were already registered who lived in these communities, I do think that 4,000 or so is a little high, but I'm not surprised by the number.
So, does it...
Oh.
Yeah, Javi, go for it.
A quick question. I'm curious. So these places, these small towns, settlements, they're known as new communities. How new do they tend to be? You mentioned that you've been working on getting them registered for the last few years, several years now.
Yes. Yeah.
How many have cropped up since then?
Yeah, absolutely. We are registering So you have to be 16 to vote. And we're registering a lot of newly turned 16-year-olds, which is why the rate is, I would assume, so high of new registered voters. Frankly, there is just a lot of new growth, and most of the population is young.
So I was wondering about the communities themselves. So if you visited, I forget how many she said,
12 to 14.
12 to 14 communities, might there have been 3, 4 more communities that have appeared in the region during that time?
It is quite possible, actually. Yes. I think, given the fact that these communities crop up where work is necessary, then yes, any number of new communities could be cropping up, and it is our job as civil servants to find them and register them as they do, or track the citizens better as they create their own homes and livelihoods.
And how does that tend to happen? How does work come up around here?
Well, it is a cycle. We're trying to fix the wrongs that the past generation has enacted, and we're trying to recycle the trash that they left behind. That's the entire operation. So as we fix new parts of the planet, the communities that were there move on to others. Sometimes they split. Sometimes they grow and then split due to the needs of that population that has grown to a point where they're no longer needing that many hands to work.
So both you and Madam Storm have been heavily involved in this operation. Why do you think she's getting so much more credit than you are for franchising voters?
I will confess, she did start earlier than I did. She was a very well-known figure in the recycling community. As I was just moving up in the rankings and growing a following, she'd already accrued quite a significant force of people behind her who believed in her and wanted to see her succeed in these regards. So it makes sense to me. She has seniority, but I don't necessarily believe that the way she's going about her campaign and her promises of the future is the right course for our planet.
Well, of course you don't, or you wouldn't be running against her.
Yeah.
Do you think anything about the way she's conducting her campaign is unethical? Or suspicious?
I hesitate to remark on the suspicion of my fellow candidates' election procedure. Yes, she does have more votes than I do, but I don't think that that's necessarily a sign of corruption. I believe that she has spoken her truth very forcefully, and she has a broad range of supporters, some of whom that I actively condemn. She has, to put this lightly, a large base of separatists, and I do not condone that belief system. I believe that the Trinity is the way forward for humanity, and she's a realist. She does not believe the Trinity is bad inherently, as far as I'm aware, but she does admit that the Trinity is not potentially the permanent solution, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. I think that the Trinity is something we have to work with and find our place within. She's got some mixed statements on that respect, but the mixed statements appeal to people who don't want.
It does seem a bit of repeating the past that realism and separatism seem to be so closely intertwined. So, what would you say if I told you that in certain Rastian circles, you're the surprise favorite to win the election? Would that surprise you?
I look very innocent as this is said.
I'm the surprise favorite.
Is her
I am
surprise
like Von Ross,
genuine?
Study her face with my
Not that I
expert
can read
scrutiny.
Roll me an insight.
Can I? Yeah, I would very much like to roll an insight.
Everybody who
It
wants to
should
roll
be
an
insight, which I do have. Also, I did
Yeah,
have
fuck it.
insight.
I'll roll an insight. Let's roll some in this game, baby. Oh shit, I'm already good at insight. I forgot about
Come
that.
on.
Okay.
That stress is probably well gone by now, but
I don't know. Y'all just had a pretty tense situation.
Where did my
Outside.
character sheet go?
Yeah, and I mean, like,
Um,
we didn't. It's not a new day. We spent
Yeah.
like.
You probably spent a couple hours in there. Maybe not enough to drop the edge all the way down.
alright.
I'm still waiting on Valine before I.
Remember, there's
go
always
for
drugs.
insight. Oh yes, there is always drugs.
Like the drugs?
My
Yes, they bought
master's-
plenty of drugs.
Trinity approves.
Hmm.
Sedate and no, just kidding.
Only the
Um,
useful kind. I don't carry alcohol. That would be ridiculous.
Indeed.
Just like adrenaline and clot shots for my. Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of my job as like a security official does involve going out of these fucking junk towns. So like, it's there for a reason.
It makes sense. It makes sense. So,
I would reach on this.
okay, yeah, go ahead and reach. Give yourself that extra stress or edge, and go ahead and reach. Green road. Perfect.
There we
Okay,
go.
all three of you get one insight, which is to say, she looks genuinely shocked.
It's a good thing we all rolled this.
but
Yeah.
but
Progress.
happy, shocked but happy.
What shock do I get?
Yes. So you look at her face, and it's a mixed emotion. And so how long have you been in this line of work? You've been a security officer for how long?
I don't know, like 10 years or something. Like this has been basically my only job, though. Like I was I've done different,
You
work
remember
my way up
last
through the
election.
ranks. So I spent a long time as like a beat cop, probably, and then
Ooh, yeah.
went to corporate.
You remember last election when there were a few familiar faces. Obviously, last election there was a clear victor, Miss Redfern. But you remember that Unger ran then too,
Oh.
and you remember the look in Unger's face when he was told that he would have to suspend his campaign. And it was kind of terrifying. It was surprise and a dash of happy. And you didn't know what that meant. But seeing the well of supporters outside surging forth today in favor of clear separatist jargon, and then seeing that expression on her face as well, puts you on edge when you go up one. And you're not sure you can tell the difference between their faces as clearly. And you take a -2 to further insight checks within the brief time period. It's that same fucking look of shock and perverse pleasure.
Okay, I guess I look at him like, well, that's all of my questions, and I look at my colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much hit all the things I want to hit.
Yeah. Same. Very good line of questioning.
But not the best line
Oh,
of
actually, one question.
Because the best line of question
you
is
did
an email in
mention-
chat.
You did mention earlier that you had a great number of comm boxes to distribute to these people. Where do you source those?
Okay, she told us where the warehouse
Oh.
is. We already had that conversation.
Ooh, but
I was
she
wondering
did not
what. Wait, she
necessarily
has a
say where
warehouse,
they
but
were.
like, did she just find a warehouse, or did she order them and put them in a
I thought
warehouse?
she said that the state provided them, so I didn't
Yes.
assume that she ordered
They are
them.
provided. They are provided by the state. They're brought
Okay.
in by. They are brought in by a variety of manufacturers. ICTA Station provides a lot of the manufacturing grunt work, but some of them are made locally. They're not entirely a recycling planet. That would be a little extreme. They do have a local factory that produces along the manufacturing guidelines that the Trinity mandates for comm boxes. So that there is a local producer that can create them. They are programmed locally, predominantly as well, and only the ones coming from ICTA's system are produced externally. There's kind of a large industrial complex around the yard. You see a lot of manufacturing work there, and a lot of warehouses as a result.
Cool.
That's actually where you could probably assume a lot of the people that you saw out there today kind of are generally located as well.
So when you say urbanites, like there's still kind of blue collar people who work in the warehouse district.
I mean, to say urbanite does not imply that they are not workers. Everybody is a worker in the Trinity. Some of them have desk jobs, some of them have factory jobs. They all get paid more or less the same.
They're just not junk workers in this case. All right. Well, I don't have any further questions. I'd say it's a good time to take a look at the warehouse.
Thank you for your time, Madam Garcia. We'll let you know if we have any further questions.
I will be submitting a transcript of this conversation to Mother, as well as sending you a copy to sign off on, or for your office to sign off on, and resubmit, so that to show that this conversation had did not involve you attempting to influence the findings of this group in any way, shape, or in any undue way. Thank you.
Appreciate that. Yes, please.
I want to make it very clear
as I am walking out.
I want to make it very clear that while he was saying that, my character was also walking out doing like a.
Before you leave, perhaps one further word.
Addendum.
I don't necessarily know that I caught all of your names.
Celine Jonar, election integrity official.
While I was working out in the new communities, I would say the one thing that I found somewhat concerning was there were a number of communities that I got to that were already fully registered. Very recently, before I started my campaign. Perhaps we could talk about that off the record.
And I'm like,
Indeed,
Mr. Van
off the record is
Kempen,
my
why don't you go to
specialty.
the restroom? Just stay there for several minutes.
Now. What were the names of these places? I'm very interested. Off the record is what I'm here for.
Well, some would call it Rast Town.
Interesting.
Really?
Yes.
I am just
if you,
enjoying
again,
myself.
to be clear, if you don't mind this being an off-record communication,
Of course.
while I was working there, I found they'd already been fully registered by the time I arrived. There were no people there unaccounted for. In fact, there were more than I expected. If that's what you are looking for, then you might want to look into that further. I know for a fact that Storm never visited there. And I didn't until that point either. There were other election officials trying to register others, but no one I recognized had visited there. I didn't find it suspicious at the time, but if you're looking for a suspicious influx of votes, and again, I don't believe there to be one, that might be the place to look.
Thank you for the information.
It is located nearby an old military foundation put there by the human empire that has since been extremely vacant. But there could be some computers still working there. I don't know for sure.
Thank you very much for this.
Thank you. That is helpful.
Given the population ever-changing of Rast in that location, I don't want to make any accusatory remarks, but there does seem to be a larger population of pre-registered people than I expected. That's all I can say.
Of course. Our job is then just to make sure that everything is kosher. As
Of course.
it were. I wonder if
look,
kosher actually
I
means
understand
anything in here.
I'm running low in the
There are
polls.
still Jewish people.
Yeah, there are still there are space Jewish people. Yes.
Various space religions.
There is a
They're not trying
variety
to be
of
like the
space
predominant
religions.
ones, but you know, like the Trinity didn't go around and wipe out the enclaves.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's still space Christianity. There's still space Judaism. There's space Islam. it's all still out there. They did rewrite some of the texts, yeah, but it's predominantly the same. They just pretty much changed the pronouns.
All
But
right.
yeah, no. So yeah, she does remark that, and she says, "I do understand that I am lagging in the polls, and I do not wish to accuse my fellow candidate of any sort of election fraud. I believe that she is there because she earns it. She has earned it, but I obviously am trying to exert my influence as much as possible through legitimate means. So take what I have said with a grain of salt. Don't let it influence your opinion. I'm only trying to help."
Can I? So first, I would step up to Garcia and like offer a firm handshake, kind of like in appreciation. I want to roll another insight check.
Please, by all means.
Let's see.
Give her the old mandible clencher.
Okay. The first insight says that she's not lying about anything that she has said. She's 100% on the level.
Well, that's kind of disappointing. I
The
mean, it makes
second-
sense.
The second insight check says that she was kind of happy to let you know that.
Hmm.
She wasn't lying,
Yeah.
but she also told it to you for a very specific reason.
Interesting.
I'm
Well,
down
I
with
have
that.
a plan.
All right, so I've grasped her hand and said, and I'm saying, I'm basically reassuring her, be like, not to worry. We are taking this in good faith, and appreciate your assistance. Now, you have a wonderful day. We have much work to do.
And you as well. I'm sure you have plenty of work to do. I have an immense amount on my end as well. I am, after all, running for office to be the secretary of this planet.
World science.
All right, and off we go.
I take it in her off-the-record conversation, she attempted to unduly influence you. That tends to happen in off-the-record conversations. That's why I prefer not to be there for them.
Well, if we told you, then wouldn't it be on the record? Mr. Van Kampen?
Yes.
I'm
So-
like, okay. Yeah, get out of the office.
Yeah, the ye old. I'll just grab you from here. Ye old getting out of office.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about Actually, you come out around the corner and you see where the elevator is.
All right, fine,
On the
fine.
next right, yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, but the
Just
outside is
like where
different.
it is in our building.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
they were all
Before-
built
before I
by the
leave, actually-
Trinity.
Yeah, you
The
actually-
same plan.
It does take a moment.
Before I get all the
way.
way out, there is something I'm planning on doing. I want to talk to the secretary real quick.
Okay, all right,
The
go for it.
secretary is outdated. I don't know what they called him the Trinity. Probably just receptionist.
Assistant.
Yeah, the receptionist is.
I
is-
talked to the front desk manager.
Yes, the front desk official. He's
The
here
front
for you.
desk operation technician.
Yes.
I kind of, I lean up on the desk, I turn on all my charm, and it must be like, pretty cushy gig you got here.
She looks at you and her inner monologue's going, really cute fucking otter I want to pet but cannot because that's racist.
That's how it starts. Getting the in.
No, but actually though, she's just like, yeah, I suppose. I mean, about as cushy as any other job in this line of work, I suppose. Yeah, what's it up? What's to you?
Oh, just have a you seem like an interesting person. You must meet a lot of crazy people working in a place like this.
Oh my god, totally, holy shit, there's so many wonky people who just kind of waltz on in and want a little bit of Garcia's time, and I'm just like, oh, bitch.
So I go up to like this edge of the desk, and I presumably I'm just the right height to put my elbows on it and go like this with my little rasp face and be like, tell me about him.
Roll me
Can
a
I
communication.
covertly overhear this conversation?
Roll me a mobility to be sneaking on the other side.
I'm actually not very good at that on
Hell yeah.
this character.
Okay.
I'll give you a +2 because you're on the other side. of
Yeah,
the
you're
door.
behind cover. You're behind cover.
Yeah, you're behind cover. You have 2 cover. Okay, that's a dope ass communicate roll. You can push that ability, otherwise you will be seen.
So you have 2 edge, but your sheet isn't fucking.
I guess I will do
Push
that.
it real good.
So, boo boo. Oh
did
wow.
you-
that's
you
nice.
didn't add
Wait,
the edge
did you?
where
You
you
gotta go
rolled
up an
right.
edge too.
I clicked the thing, but for some reason.
Yeah,
it
so
didn't
I was
register.
setting your sheet to have it, so I probably fucked it because I realized your edge wasn't tracking on your token. My bad. It was my fault that happened.
You're
Just
welcome
roll
to,
one more
uh,
d6 and it'll handle it.
Roll
Just-
one more d6.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe it'll be a 6. Or a 1. Who knows?
Or
Yeah.
neither. You're
Or
just
neither.
sort of leaning on the doorway and very noticeable.
Yeah, I'll get to what happens when Blee is discovered. Boo Boo, you prompt her to talk, and she does so quite readily. If you'd like to use your stretch or your twists for anything in particular, please let me know.
I would like to use my twist to, try to twist 1, play up the cuteness. You gotta play to your strengths as the Rast. You have an adorable otter in a business suit. That's how you gotta go. Twist 2, I'm gonna try to angle the conversation. And if she mentions any people that sound suspicious or interesting to what we're looking into, I'm gonna try to get her to go into more detail about those individuals.
All right, cool. So she kind of just goes off and she talks about this one dude from the boonies with a lazy eye who just was absolutely insistent that there was abductions going on out in the boonies by Rast stealth ships. He was super insistent that there were invisible spaceships that were flying up to people, shining lights on them, and pulling them up into their ships, right? And taking them off. And he said that he got abducted by one, and inside there was Rasts, but they weren't normal Rasts. They were fully unfurred, they shaved their whole bodies, right? And they had super long antennas, and this person was convinced that they were the next evolution of Rasts, and they stuck things up his butt. and he was really.
Well, I mean, that does sound pretty rash. This guy has some potency.
and he was very he wanted to talk to Garcia about like what her policy would be about the Rastian butt invaders that were coming out to like invade people's butts out in the boonies, and he was just, he reeked of gin. The whole thing was weird, and just like she says like that she basically had him sit outside for a long time, and eventually he walked off. She's not sure where he went. She doesn't think he left the building.
I'm gonna be reply like, yeah, that guy sounds crazy. That's so wild.
No,
I mean,
last week.
We're just last week. Wow.
Yeah. All right, and that's not even the first person that I've heard talking about Rastian stealth ships out in the boonies. This is like, come on, bro. That's not even a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're much more about the butt play than the stealth ships.
And that's what I told him! Like, yeah, obviously, a Rast loves sex, but, like, I have never met a Rast that wasn't, like, super, like, talkative about it and, like, very convincing and just, like, yeah, let's have sex. And I'm like, yeah, sure. They don't need stealth ships and shit. They can just say hi, and they can get it. Like, fucking let's go, right? But, like, nah, this guy thinks that there's stealth ships out there fucking people in the butts.
That's
stupid.
Crazy.
It's just stupid. Yeah, and like, come on, this is not even the first time I hear stealth ship stories like every fucking couple of weeks. Honestly, everybody always has these stories about invisible ships from space. Like, no, if there were invisible ships, we would detect them. Obviously. Like, come on, we got a fucking space elevator. There's somebody up there, like, checking sensors and detecting for heat signatures. Like, it's not like that's a thing that could happen. Nobody can slip by us like that. That'd be stupid.
Yeah, that's not why anyone would design a stealth ship. Like, no one would consider any other kind of technology but visual when designing one.
I mean, visual and thermal, but Anyway, like, aside from those crazies, I don't mean to disparage, of course, but like, it seems a little far-fetched to me, so to use a human term. Aside from the crazies, I don't know, I mean, we've gotten some weird visitors. Like, just talk about weird. Friggin' Storm, like the candidate, right? Waltzed on in here a couple days ago, and she was super concerned about election fraud, and she wanted to have a private conversation with Garcia or whatever. But yeah. Aside from, and then of course, wow, I don't. At
this point, by the way, I'm probably hopped up onto the desk and like sitting and going like this.
Okay, I mean, like, if you want her to pet you, you can roll an extra communicate to just like.
I will roll an extra communicate. Petting is an important part
like,
of me. But
you could totally make this a.
Meanwhile, in the hallway, Lee has failed the maneuver test. How does that go?
Oh yeah, right. I gotta go back to not Lee, but Lee. So yeah, no, you popped up on the desk and she's petting you and she's talking to you about like a number of people who have come in, and she mentions that Unger came in like a couple weeks ago and had some very heated words with her. But aside from that, she just keeps gobbledygooking about a number of things, and then Lee kind of trips over the door and pops. Lee, gender pronouns they them or she her?
She.
She her.
She her.
Yeah. So she kind of pops her head in and kind of whips it on back. But it's not so quick that the secretary doesn't notice. And the secretary's like, "Hey, your friend's out there. Are you said you had to go, right? Your friend's kind of looking on in."
You know how they can be. I guess it's probably time for me to go. Here, have my comm number.
Mirai, so concerned with professionalism and not having bathroom quickies in the workplace.
I know. I say exactly that.
She's like, "Oh, I totally understand. I love bathroom quickies. It's a pity that we can't have one right now." Sorry.
Yeah, you know.
Bye.
I do have to run, but here's my comm number.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
we'll talk later.
You'll
See what
probably
we
be
can
here
do.
for a while. Whatever, it's cool. If you want to have sex with me, that's fine. We can do that later.
Yeah, I'll swing by.
Cool. Bye.
Meanwhile, Mark pushes the button on the elevator.
This is such a trope. Like Max's characters flirting with receptionists.
Hey, that was a really good lead. I do not apologize for
You
that.
got 3 good leads there, but like that doesn't always happen.
And actually, I have a part 2 for this plan. This plan's got layers.
Oh, it's got layers, does it?
He's got lays
It
of some
does.
sort. And Wooly, do you also load into the elevator, or are you taking the
Yes.
stairs? All right.
Yeah. And Fully just does the Mariah equivalent of the awkward cough. It's just like,
What emotional pheromone do you release?
Yeah.
Is there
Awkwardness.
is awkwardness an emotion?
Vaguely uncomfortable.
Yes. Vague discomfort.
I'm gonna say it smells of elderberries.
Oh,
That's lovely. I assume it's a congratulatory scent.
But also some suspicion if that's also an emotion.
You ding.
Yeah.
You ding to the bottom floor.
So what now?
You ding to the bottom floor.
no. Ding ding.
Oh.
Yes, and due to the fact that all of these are alike, you have a, you have an exit right over here. There's a guy looking over at the milk dispenser, and he's like, "I put my luxury credit in. I should have some milk by now."
Wait, milk is a luxury credit? That seems like a ripoff.
Strawberry milk.
It's a good milk. It's good. You don't get this at the normal dispensaries. Good milk. Punches the machine again.
I imagine
It's good milk.
Yeah, I just imagine him actually mumbling that to himself over and over again. Gotta get the good milk.
If you believe
It's
that
the milk that the
machine to be
Rastian
broken,
bug
you can
pirates
file
don't
a
want you to
request
fucking
to fix
taste.
it. I
The
say
good
as
milk.
exiting the door.
The person over here is like, "Dude, can you please leave? You've been here for a week."
Wait, so the fucking secretary upstairs didn't even comment on the crazy milk guy who's been sitting in the lobby for a week.
No, she did. She told you about him, and she said, "I don't think he left the building."
Yeah.
Wait, that's the guy?
Oh,
Wait,
shit,
no,
is
we
that
need to
the
talk
guy?
to him.
Wait, back up! Back up!
Yeah,
Rewind!
Yeah, you head back into the building. One moment.
Then we see that it happens. We walk by and he's like, the milk on the Rastian stealth ships, and we're just kind of and we go like, huh?
Well, you have to. You haven't told the rest of us what you talked about yet.
Willie would.
That's a
never
good point.
Say that though, if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll not be stealthy about my turning around and be like, ooh.
The
Maybe,
Rastian bug pirates don't want me to taste this good milk.
Hey, friend, let me help you with that. And I try to get the milk out for them.
Roll me a mechanics test.
Oh, oh no. I do not get the milk
So
out.
Alternatively, you can spend a rider.
question.
Yeah, I'll spend a Raidu. That seems fair.
So did I actually overhear the whole conversation?
You heard,
Right.
yeah, you heard most of it. You kind of tipped your hat at the end, but you did hear most of it.
Okay. Because I would want to, while he's helping this guy, I'd want to quickly explain the overheard conversation to the
Fair enough.
others.
You heard a lot about butt pirates, but you didn't hear a lot of the other stuff.
Oh, good. So Wooly also doesn't think there's a valid reason to stop.
I'm like, What were you saying earlier about butt pirates and stealth ships? It sounds pretty interesting.
So isn't he alarmed at all to see a Rast approach him and act friendly after he's assaulted by Rastian butt pirates?
Yeah, as soon as you walk up and you stick a Lux in the machine, his good milk pops out, but he backs up and he's stepping away from you. He's like, no, they're back, they're coming for me.
I'm like, all right. You know what? Have a nice day. And I'm gonna pop back. And I'm gonna like gesture my crew outside. The crew outside.
And you know what you see actually coming by on a truck outside? Very large red lettering, actually. It says, "Will return 10 minutes. Break back at 10:42."
All right.
All right.
I mean, isn't there like a political rally still happening outside?
There absolutely is.
The don't worry, the truck is gone.
Let me do that warehouse thing that I asked for, just in case they go there.
Oh no, I didn't, because I didn't think that we were going to send them there tonight. I thought that was a different warehouse. Sorry, doesn't exist.
It's okay. Yeah, maybe just outside and small inside that's very vacant.
We can send them to the idea zone.
That's fair. You know what? I'm not going to ask you for anything more. Yeah, that's fine. Idea zone is perfectly acceptable. Marvelous. All right, I'm going to use that. Here you go.
Alright.
Yeah, Sparrow. Any milk where the producer wasn't fed corn. I can't imagine there's a lot of corn growing in the Trinity, because like
I don't know about that. Why not?
Because corn is like there's a lot of silliness that goes into having a corn-based agricultural system that has more to do with keeping corn afloat than it being a good idea. So the world would need to already be
I don't think there's nearly as
corn-based.
much corn in the Trinity as proportion of crops as there is in America, for example. America is, a bit crazy about corn. But, like, I don't see there being no corn.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying zero corn. I'm just saying, nowhere near America levels.
Well, yeah, but nowhere's America's insane.
Yeah,
correct. In many respects.
Like half of America is corn, and the other half is like, I don't know,
soybean.
cattle.
Sustaining the corn.
American farm industry is corn and soybeans, and basically nothing else.
I'll have you know, we also grow like strawberries, and don't forget,
Yeah,
California has all those
big
fucking
part of our
almonds.
agriculture. Good point, Sparrow. We grow them free
California
range.
produces most of the world's almonds.
Oh, that sounds like a joy. By which I mean it's not. Almonds are disgusting.
It's actually it's fucking awful. It's destroying the state. Yeah, it's a great time. Yeah, I figured what we really needed was for my character to lean in and schmooze. And maybe it is true that I've gotten all my moves for any investigation from noir films. But, like, I think there's a lot to be said for, like, if there's a secretary who doesn't seem too invested in their job, they're going to be the one you want to talk to get dirt on the, goings-ons in the office.
Maybe it's true. It's 100% true you've gotten all your investigation skills from noir films.
I mean, they're good. Fucking they work. What can I say? I'm going to apologize.
I don't think it was.
I should bring a flask down or something. Go full in character here.
I mean, they only really work if there's secretaries for you to seduce, and also you get beaten up by the bad guys repeatedly.
Yeah, like you're gonna have to get you're gonna have to get absolutely shit canned in a melee at some point for you to be a true noir character.
I would say I've played some really excellent noir characters then, because almost all my PCs get shit canned in melee.
Yeah, I mean it's just part of the part of the setup, really.
Part of the charm. I mean, we all remember the brilliance of a Scott Colbert.
Indeed.
For anyone who may be listening who's not familiar with the reference, it was a character in a game a few of us played a long, long time ago, well before the Twitch channel. He was a reporter who was pretty great at reporting, but pretty completely awful at everything, including fighting. And so pretty much every adventure he got into involved him going to a place, asking too many questions, getting the shit kicked out of him, and then, scuttling away and asking more questions somewhere else.
Scoops?
Scoops!
Shit, what was his name?
Scott Colbert.
Oh, yeah. Very, very creative.
Yeah. I won't pretend it wasn't the height of my RPG playing at that point. My main character at that point in my life was Professor Sir Reginald von Bottlesby. A name that sounds creative until you realize it's a Firefly in Borderlands 2.
The Firefly reference?
No, it's a reference to a Firefly.
Mm-hmm.
What Firefly?
So there's a character in Borderlands 2 who has a pet firefly in a jar, and the jar has on it a top hat, a monocle, and a mustache. And she refers to the bug, as well as presumably the assembly in which it's contained, as Professor Sir Reginald von Bartlesby.
Oh my god, it's literally the entire name. I thought it would just be part of it, but no.
No, it's the whole ass of the full. Because none of us thought the game. James and I didn't know the game would be going on for long. So I'm like, what's the dumbest
You remember
name?
you explicitly told us to be a one-shot.
Which, I still think is kind of a brilliant way to run a campaign. Aside from the scheduling issues, I think there's a lot to be said for making this the dumbest, most whimsical character you can, and then running that through a campaign.
Malefus Twitch is
Just
rated with a
remember
party of
that
3.
there was the one point in the
Greetings.
campaign where
Malefus.
Lee told me that I had to tell him how on earth I disappeared from sight in an open room surrounded by people.
Yeah, stealth isn't dumb at all sometimes.
I would also like to point out that my character's name may have been Professor Sir Reginald von Bartlesby, but James's character's name was Damien Not Wayne. And to be honest, I think
beautiful though. Not Twain. It's French probably.
There's an excellent competition for dumbest character name in the 3 character names there were.
Hey, I mean, there were actually other people in that campaign. We don't remember that we're talking about them, but they technically existed.
But they don't count.
And hey, what's wrong with Eustatia's name? At least I didn't steal it from
Eustatia's not
something.
bad. What's the rest of it?
Oh god, I'm not sure I can even remember it. Eustacia, Wilhelmina,
Hortensia was in there as well.
yeah, Hortensia.
Blighton.
It was like
I think it was
20
Blighton.
first names, all
Blighton,
of which
yeah.
ended in Ch.
Point is, we all had dumb names,
Hortensia,
and it was
Blighton.
great.
I like super old-timey, unattractive English names. I love all of them so much.
And you
And
used
so
all
you
of them
decided
in
to
one
put all of
name.
them
No,
into
there's
one name.
still more that I never got to.
I'm sure I will come up. We'll do something where it's just a freaking the most aggressively stuffy that period British campaign possible, so that we can all name our characters increasingly awful things.
Yeah, it'll be great. I try to use them when I can. I've used Georgiana in something, and Georgina, I think, separately. I've used Henrietta for Lady Henry Darcy. I'm still looking for... I used, Agnes for, a Fallout campaign, or Agatha, one of those two. So I need to use the other one, but I can't remember which.
I guess,
Just
Mortimer,
a lot
that's a
of
pretty
them.
bad men's one.
Dorothea, I used that one. There was a long period.
I'm trying to think of bad men's ones. I'm sure there were a ton. I'm just blanking
I
on them.
mean, yeah, Egbert.
Egbert, that's pretty awful.
I'm
That's-
sorry, Egbert is a great name.
The problem is, we'll say,
Devil.
oh, this is a dumb name, and then James will jump in and be like, actually, there's a comic book character with that name, and they're pretty cool.
That doesn't make it a good name. Oh, I like Eustace, from Chronicles of Narnia. Eustace Clarence Scrub. We used to call my little brother that, and then also call him Slimy Repulsive Slug. It wasn't very imaginative.
Wow,
Yeah.
bullying
But,
your family place.
Literary references.
One of my brother's friends used to call me Nugget. I don't know why.
I don't even know if that's an insult.
I don't think it was. I think it was a term of endearment. I still don't get it though.
Oh, nuggets are delicious, and so are you.
Nuggets are delicious. I am
Wow.
I don't know. I wouldn't say I've ever been particularly nuggety.
Y'all are horny.
So I mean, is it resumption time?
It is, in fact, 10:42, and
So pretty much what I do
Eating.
is I pop out, and once we're outside, I kind of turn to the party and I'm like, "Hey, so I heard lots of interesting stuff inside, but I think that guy is one of the people that came in, and he was talking about. It's clearly not the most sane person, but he mentioned Rastian stealth ships dropping into some of these bases who have been seeing lots of voter spikes. He might have seen something. However, because he kind of thinks the Rast kidnapped him and did butt stuff to him.
Yeah,
like,
we
don't
saw
kidnap
his
anybody.
reaction. Okay, I'm gonna go and introduce myself as a police officer and take his statement.
I will
Okay.
stay outside. Actually, I'll go to like a cafe or some shit. Like, I'm not going to stand out here and watch a freaking protest.
you're gonna go to Space Bucks.
I hope there's like a more. I want to find like a proper small business. None of that. None of that.
I would
space
say,
shit.
there is a single Rast Bucks in town. It is a little
Okay, go to the
walk.
Rast Bucks. Fuck it.
It is a little walk.
Wow, you said you were gonna
Two
support
blocks.
local, and then you go for Rast Bucks. Literally, the
Well, I assumed that was
If there's
support
an
local because there
informist
wasn't gonna be any-
capitalist option available.
Yeah. Although there was only Fred
it's
Bucks, I'm not going. But
legally
Rast Bucks.
available
Rast Bucks
to
makes the
operate
coffee
within the
right.
Trinity, and it functions on the Trinity's kind of economic system, but it is technically a Rast Bucks.
I'm going to
They use
Rast
the
Bucks.
same
Rast
Rast
Bucks,
Bucks.
even the Trinity stores. What the problem with the rest of the coffee places in the Trinity is that they don't have soy sauce to add to your coffee.
Yes.
I
This
mean, I
place
honestly
absolutely
feel like they would to be culturally,
Also, they
supportive
don't have big
of
enough
Rast's
cups.
bad taste.
In the Rast Bucks, at Rast Bucks, you can get the head-sized cup and the double head-sized cup, which are the proper sizes for Rast.
And don't forget about the cod roti. That's a classic.
Yeah. Okay.
Rast
so I-
Bucks is the same, except for they give you like smaller portions, and they charge extra for the larger portions, which are the normal portions.
Okay, well I'm going into Rast Bucks just because I find the logo incredibly adorable.
Yes,
Mm.
it's a bit of a walk, and you have to pass the angry mob that was outside, and they for the most part they kind of ignore you. Seems like they were more worried about there being a Mirai on the planet than a Rast.
Well, that makes sense. Rast aren't Trinity. If they're angry at the Trinity, I'm kind of. If anything, if they were smart, I would be their strongest ally.
Yeah,
I mean, hypothetically, as a Rast.
Okay, Mr. Van Kampen, you should be looking at the slate that we got from earlier to see if there's any like malware or something that would prohibit election integrity on the things that the Rast gangsters are handing out, and maybe look into Unger.
Yeah. They were handing out some legitimate slates, not
Yep.
those com boxes that the Trinity's offering.
I'm gonna check out this plate. Just like hop down, pull
Alright.
out my fun tools.
So you give me a system check while Dinar gives me a communicate.
Okay, so I'm like, hi, I'm Officer Dinar. I couldn't help but overhear earlier. It sounds like you have a crime to report.
Well, it's about time someone takes me seriously. I have been talking to the one person in this planet that I trust, Madame Garcia. I tried to speak with her about a week ago. She didn't have the time of day for me. I understand she is running a campaign and all, but she's the only person I trust with this valuable information regarding the he leans in conspiratorially. But pirates.
And I'm like, sir, I'm on the Election Integrity Commission. If you have...
Oh, you're one of them. You're one of the establishments. I don't know that I can talk to you about this. You probably report it to. He leans in conspiratorially. the collaborators.
Like, sir, I promise to keep your report confidential, but if something's going on that could threaten, the safety of people who are just trying to do their jobs, I need to know.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions. Then I'll be sure that I can trust you. Are you actually a ras wearing a person's first question?
No, I'm a human who grew up here a couple of
That sounds-
generations.
That sounds true. Okay. Oh,
Seems legit. Okay.
second question. Are you or anyone you love affiliated with the Brassian Blood Pirates?
No, I don't, general approve of Rast
don't
due to their
believe
presence
it.
on our planet. I would not patronize so much as a Rast bucks.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. That's good. That's what I was here trying to hear. All right, good. Yeah, that's 2 marks in your favor. Let's see. Third question. You say you were born here and raised here. You ever been you ever been taken on one of them spinny ships up topside and sailed around with your brain hole?
Not to my knowledge.
But you might not know if you was.
Well, how do you know? I mean, you have the memories of your experience, so it's clearly not a perfect process. If the goal is to wipe one's memories.
Fought him off. I told them that the only person I let in my butt is my husband. Right. So I was very persistent on that, and I fought hard and fought real hard to. Okay, you know what? I kind of trust you at this point. You've been pretty frank with me. All right. Let me let you in on the. Let's talk somewhere private. And he kind of like walks like a couple meters down the hallway. It's not any more private. Okay. So I'll tell you everything about the incident. You gotta promise me you're not gonna tell anybody topside, because I don't trust that they have the best intentions. But I mean, like, if they wanted to stop the Rats Butt Pirates, they would, right? That's why I'm voting for Garcia. She believes that we gotta defend ourselves from the Rastian Butt Pirates, right? Gotta be as strong as we can. And like, if Mother says that we can't defend ourselves against these invading probers, then we gotta make sure that we do that regardless of what she says, right? Yeah.
I certainly would.
Thank you. I can see that you're a woman of logic. I'm a very, very logical person myself. So let me tell you the 411 on the scoop. So I works out in what they call here the boonies, right? Out in the junk heaps, and I came across some strange thing one day. I was walking about and there was this kind of pristine like old human structure, maybe something yay high, kind of like makes a gesture like way bigger than his hands could possibly equate. He's like yay high, but he's like using his hand to like point to this above the ceiling. And he says, one of them old human like war structures, the ones
Like
that have like the
facility near Rasttown.
Yeah. It was near Rasttown. It was near Rasttown. Now I think about it, right? And there was a whole hustle bustle about it. It was nothing like what I'd seen out in the rest of the junk heaps, right? And I moved myself about, and this was of course at night. Obviously, I came to it because of the lights that was going on the inside, which was strange to me. Most of the junk heaps don't got much light unless they're like, the wolves, and obviously those move, so you avoid them, right? Moving lights at night, that's no good. That's no good. But yeah, no, these were some static lights, and I came to this fucking structure out there in the boonies, and there was some shapes moving, some strange shapes, kind of smaller, and then some taller ones. But there was nothing like normal Rast or normal people, or not even like Mariah or Gran or anything. But there were just some strange figures dressed in weird amalgamations of visages, kind of thing you'd see in like a kid's storybook about multi-formed things, kind of chimera stuff. And then I saw some lights from the sky, but it came out of nowhere. It was like the stars themselves just gleamed brighter for a second. Then I saw a silhouette, smooth as an eel's skin, sleek like a fish out of water, coming down from the sky. When these lights hit him, I knew for a fact that it was a spaceship. It was something I'd never seen before, something that configured itself out of plain air. Something that I'd read about in some of those blogs that you see on the net talking about the things that might be out there, This was a Rast stealth ship for sure. This was a Rast stealth ship. I'd bet my life on it. I'd bet my everything on it. This was piloted by them burless Rast. Them shaved ones. Them ones that are the new evolution. Maybe they aren't even shaved. Maybe they got no fur because they're from the water, like the deeper water or something. I don't know how the Rast do, but
so
right.
Apart from not having fur, they look just like Rast.
So I didn't even get to that. Yeah, so they caught me, right? They saw me out there. There was a big light shone on me. And next thing I know, I was inside of this thing. It was pure white on the inside. It was sleek and smooth like the outside, but like big and white and shiny. And everything was lights, and I couldn't see for the light, It was like being in a Newswise ship. Except I never been in one. I just imagine because like people say that the Newswise like shining lights on the inside of the ship. I don't know. And smooth shit. I don't know. Like the Newswise, they got that pearlescent thing, right? But like it was that on the inside of a spaceship. Yeah? And so I saw these figures. They was tight, body tights, plain pale, and very faceless. Like they had something on their faces for sure. But they had the antenna and the whiskers and everything. It was definitely like the skinless Rast. I'm telling you, like I couldn't see very well because of all the lights in my eyes. But they was doing something, man. They was doing something out there, up in that spaceship. And the next thing I know, I felt this big prick, this big pain, like they didn't even. It's like they didn't even lube, man. There was some weird shit that went down, and I wanted to talk to the only person I trust, only person I can trust, the lady up top. But they didn't hear me at all. So I just been staying here till they hear me, till they hear my truth. You believe me, right?
Yeah, I do believe you.
They took me up there, man, in space. Which is obviously, I'm saying this and I'm not really thinking through what I'm saying because space is something that we can obviously traverse, but like they took me there, man.
Yeah, I mean it's very troubling. And I'm gonna look into
my butt.
So,
they put something in me.
What? So if they implanted something, I mean, have you been scanned? Like,
no, but I know they did.
I mean, I really feel like we should get that checked out at a medical facility. Like,
I don't trust them. They got those like equipments that they do things to you, man. They like put like a scanning thing. They put you under like a round thing. And then you go in, and you don't come out the same person. They clone you. They put you in there, and then they put another one out on the other side, and it's not real. You go in there and they shine these lights on you, and they take a measurement of your body, and then they put you in a furnace, and then they put another one of you out, and it follows the rules of the people to put you in there. They get like these big masks on, right? And they wear these like big old white masks and big old poofy white shits. And they put you inside the round things, man, at the medical places. And then they put you out on the other side, and it's not you. I don't trust that shit.
Yeah, it's very valid. Okay, so I'm going to look into this. If you need anything, here's my number.
I don't take any numbers. Don't try and contact me again, ever. Don't even say I didn't tell you my name for a reason. I don't want you to talk to me. I don't want you to mention me. You could say anonymous, but that's basically my name, okay?
Very fair.
Thank you. I appreciate that you're respecting my anonymity. And also, if you see Garcia, tell her that I love and support her, and I will bear her children.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna leave, backing away cautiously.
Yeah, you might even run out through the 90s.
Okay, so have you garnered enough information?
Yep.
I think we guarded more than enough information.
Good.
And possibly things other than information.
Possibly.
I mean,
this
I'm
is gonna,
hoping to get things.
let's
up
be
with
real
information
here.
when I
Like,
come
you're
back
going to be
up.
talking about this on the History Channel in a few years. Right after the
So-
history specials.
While this very useful conversation has been going on, tell me everything I now know about this slate.
Okay, yeah. So you got the slate from the Rasstown, right?
Yep.
All right. So yeah, it's a fully functional normal slate made in Rin, the Rin home ship, and as such, there's a number of backtrack or back accessible manners by which anybody with a brain and a good coding skill could access. And it is absolutely not up to the Trinity snuff with regards to security information. Literally, you could just hack the shit out of this if you wanted to. It is super, super accessible.
Okay.
And it looks like it is already being hacked by a couple of people.
All right.
But, like, you know, not an active hack. It's just like, this system's
Mhm.
totally fucked.
So yeah, I am definitely going to set up a thing to automatically flag anything coming in or any votes coming in with a or from a Rhinish or with any Rhinish tags as though they were coming from a slate like this. Just so that if there are multiple flags on the same vote, that's very likely that that vote is illegitimate. So the more flags I put into the system, the more accurate the system will be.
Okay. Yeah, you can rest assured that anytime somebody with one of these really, really hackable phones tries to vote, they will be measured and counted and placed under a red flag in your system.
Yes. I haven't decided
Interesting.
how many flags I'm going to make an automatic elimination versus how many flags are just, look over it again.
I mean, more than one. Like, you should only have one person voting per slate.
Lee, I changed the music because it's like, wow, very aggressive.
It was like, wow, very aggressive, harshing the vibe.
But yeah, no,
Relax.
there should absolutely only be one vote per slate. That's how it works.
Yeah, but it might be not the person who voted's vote if it's one of these slates. So I have a red flag on it. And if that in combination with one of the other red flags, and depending on how many flags I get, maybe two of the other red flags, Right now I have 2 sets of flags, so it's only 2. If I get up to 4, it's probably going to be 3 flags.
Indeed. So you have ensured that anything coming in on a Rhinish phone or a Rhinish slate is going to be accounted for.
Yep.
And you, Dinar, have had a very meaningful conversation with somebody who believes in Rastian butt pirates. And everybody else, what have you been up to?
I mean, here's a
You've been
question.
in
So what time is it when we like get out of here? And what time do a candidate's office normally close? And for example, a secretary go home?
Right. It would probably... Oh, yeah. They would probably close in an hour.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking, here's my plan, and I'll say this to the non-James's character members of the party.
By the way, you have about a week till the election.
That's
Maybe
fair,
less.
but you know,
Maybe more.
time is money. I'll be like,
We have
all right,
enough time for the election.
I
but
could
not
go
too
back
much
to
time.
the office and like poke around in their files.
As a possibility. I thought you were going a different way with that.
I mean,
Likewise.
don't worry about what else I'm doing while there, but I have an in.
Yeah, it's possible the yeah. Within an hour you can poke around this person's office. You could also poke around, hypothetically, Madame Storm's office as well.
Nightmare Weaver indeed.
Also, hypothetically, you could hop around in Redfern's office. If you want.
Redfern's on the up and up, though.
Yeah. We all know that Redfern's on the up.
Useless, but on the up and up.
Now, I'm
They
sorry.
are
Remind
honest and
me.
useless.
Remind me which one Redfern is.
She's the candidate that's not going to win.
The
The
incumbent.
one
who's
who is
been-
already
Right.
was the person, and she's very much
Unpopular
just not
incumbent.
very useful of a leader.
Yeah,
Okay, are we still waiting for
unpopular.
people to describe what they do? Like, is it time to confer as a party? I can't tell.
I mean, yeah. So you are all in the office lobby. Would you like to leave the office lobby? Where would you like to be having
Yeah.
this conversation? I mean, the Rast. Boop Boop is in a cafe around the corner.
Yeah, so I guess we collect him and probably just go back to our office or something. I mean, we could maybe an A cafe, but I feel like a Rastian cafe has surveillance concerns.
There
Given our
are
current
actually no
suspicions.
cameras in a Rastian cafe.
Yeah, Rastian
No
cafes are where
cameras
you
that we
go when you
can
don't want to be
see.
surveilled.
Like,
I mean, yeah, as far as you can tell. But, like, Rastian cafes are notoriously convenient for shady dealings.
There are many cameras in a Rastian cafe. It's just none of them are in normal camera spots, and most of them do not belong to the cafe.
Yeah, fair enough.
And about half of them are in the toilets. Don't ask.
So you find that the crowd has swelled since last you were out here. There's Control V. You must have caught the beginning of the conversation because there's now a quite large crowd that's just
they're
swirling
all
around.
wearing douchey cowboy hats.
A lot of them are. And when you hear, yes, and should she be removed from office or should she be denied the position that she is rightly due? What shall we do, friends? We go to war! That's right! Of course I mean this in the most legitimate fashions. We talk to our representatives. We put our signatures on paperwork. We put our hands on the system. And we go to war. Hypothetically, metaphorically, with the establishment. Yes, friends. That's what we do if she is denied her rightful position. If we are denied the storm, we shall bring the storm to them. Brothers. Yes.
I'm
Bring the
uncomfortable
storm
that
back.
Donald Trump is here in a context where we may not be able to murder him.
Oh, don't worry, I'll give you the context.
We have the power.
This is a fantasy. You have the power. But you know,
I mean,
he's a member of the quote-unquote legitimate human rights campaign. He's not advocating armed rebellion.
Oh, by the way, as we leave, I do send him a copy, or send him a copy of the transcript of what I heard of the speech, sit with a signature line that says, just to confirm that you were not attempting to unduly, both when we were going in and when we were leaving. Just to confirm that you were not attempting to unduly influence the findings of the Election Integrity Committee.
yeah, he totally wasn't trying to influence it by telling the crowd to turn on us and that we were agents of corruption in the Trinity.
And it also says, please submit this with your digital signature to Mother. Please submit this copy of the transcript with your digital signature to Mother.
He looks at his slate. Oh! I have a message from the oppressors. Would you look at this? Would you look at this? They wish me to submit a form stating what I have told all of you. This is public. This is a public forum. Why would they need my signature? Why else, aside from to put me down, to stop me from talking and stating the truth? The truth that they would have us all squashed like bugs under their boots. We are the coming storm. Ladies, gentlemen.
Kind of surprised you didn't make a squashed by bugs under their boots joke.
Oh,
He's racist to the Mirage.
He's less overt than that. He's that insidious sort of shithole that does not say what he's thinking.
See, this is a very, very important thing. Because legally speaking, you have to. With the interaction with this.
Bear witness, brothers, sisters. I will sign testimonies that I have stated all of the things I have said and more. And they will put words in my mouth. They will twist my words. They will ensure that my words are repeated on the news or on their networks in fashions that you all understand.
It's
I
funny
do not intend.
because there's no chance that Cruz is getting this.
They will claim that I am an insurrectionist, that I am a Marxist, or some sort of individual that does not approve of the Trinity exerting its will upon me. Well, I am none of those things. And we all know this.
Do we hear this end of the speech?
I mean,
As you're walking away, he's like signing.
All right,
signing
I'm gonna put a note
Slate.
on this file that says, if used in the news, used to show that even the most extreme people agree with the bureaucracy and believe in it.
He can't
Not to
respond
him.
to
He
that.
doesn't know I'm doing this. I'm just helping.
You all see me now. I am signing away my soul, but you don't have to. You do not have to sign anything except for your signature on your vote for Aliana Storm, the woman who would lead us from this oppressive, overruling situation. The woman who would lead us into true freedom. A free frontier for the people.
Okay, I want to leave. This guy isn't going to say anything useful.
He's just out there shooting the shit and harassing you intentionally.
Oh yeah.
Yay, harassment.
Yay, harassment.
I've been
Wait.
harassed by occupying forces before.
Yes. So y'all meet up with your homie. And
I'm
the
like, hey, how'd it
rest-
go?
Well, the useful thing that he said was that the stealth rast ship and unusual activity appeared at the old human facility by Rask Town, which we've had other, evidence might be sus. Everything else
Also,
was probably crazy.
There are currently multiple passive hacks going on all of these terrible, terrible Rast slates. Can you explain to me how these are usable in any way, shape, or form ever? Beep, boop, boop?
Yes. It's called increasing the bottom line.
Because they are more holy than, I believe the old phrase was Swiss cheese.
You ever heard of a burner slate?
Well, I mean, this is the opposite. A burner's supposed to be secure. This is...
No, a burner's not supposed to be secure. You're just not supposed to do enough on it to give anyone any time to use it. It's not tied to you until you use it for the first time, then you use it once and throw it away. The security is the anonymity.
That seems inefficient.
Yeah, okay. So...
Bureaucracy is security.
How's that action going for you?
Look, there's obviously a lot of suspicious shit going on, but I think our best lead, hands down, is the old human facility.
Yes, I mean, I potentially have an in to poke around in the office of the dear candidate to whom we recently spoke.
You might even be able to get into a warehouse.
Yeah, I still like the warehouse as a lead.
Well, I mean, those are just Trinity comm boxes. Like, I'm not saying it's not a thing we should check out, but I don't think it's more likely to reveal evidence of conspiracy than going to the super suspicious place.
Which would take hours via rover.
I mean, you have the time. You could do that tomorrow.
Which one?
Yeah, so it would take a couple hours by rover to go at. So yeah, it is the evening. You could do this at night.
Well, yeah, because I kind of wanted to go at night. Like, if they're going to do suspicious activity, that's probably when it's happening. I don't want to show up in broad daylight.
Absolutely.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. So, that is totally an option. How would you like to proceed? Any one of these is an option for you. You could go to...
I mean, I assume, we should probably go check out the old human empire place.
Okay. Let me just make sure that I have...
I mean, we have other leads, we have other things we can poke into, but this seems like a good... This one seems like it's the most substantial. It's better than me hoping I can figure out a computer well enough to poke around in it for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I also kind of don't think that I'm okay with allowing... Well, I meant, look the other way, but, I don't think our permits currently cover just breaking into places. I think we need warrants.
I mean, it's not breaking in, I'll be invited.
I mean, but under false pretenses, that's entrapment.
That's not entrapment.
I can't imagine that the Trinity's okay with people who seduce someone to rifle through their files. I think that's a crime.
That is a crime.
Not acceptable in court.
That's actually a breaking 7 separate statutes.
That's called why you don't get caught.
2 of which are oddly specific about Rast.
Okay. Like I said, it's discriminatory against the culture of my people.
Those are local statutes.
Well, I stand by it. This planet is bad for Rastian rights.
I honestly think it's kind of too good for Rastian rights, given the activity we found.
Oh yeah, but you're so suspicious of the activity because it's a bunch of Rast.
Damn, frontier perspective.
Yeah, the fact that they were gangsters who wanted to, kill us had nothing to do with it.
Well, I feel like you jumped to a lot of conclusions there. Gangsters wanted to kill us. They seem perfectly friendly to me.
Yeah, to a Rast.
Well, when you're an oppressed minority like we are, sometimes you get combative with the oppressor.
Oppressed minority. You don't... Whatever, okay. Alright, so we're gonna go on the stage. Okay, Mr. Van Kampen, I want you to write up a description of what we're doing and why, and then schedule it to, send in, 3 hours after we would probably get back in case we do get captured or killed, so people know where we went. but don't send it in advance because that might tip people off if they're hacking our
Very well.
systems.
I
Do you guys have armor and weapons?
No.
Not really.
Do we have any way of requisitioning basic stuff for these people?
Basic weapons for office workers?
I mean, like,
No.
I'm a military, well, like, not military, but I'm a police officer. Like, I have a stun gun.
Yeah, you probably have access to some for your job.
Oh, yeah,
You're
I
not
do have
sure
a
that you
stun
could-
gun.
Easily requisition stuff for everybody else.
I say it's an old human empire facility. Those places are lousy with old weapons lying around. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, that will comfort you as, this mysterious wolf-type creature eats you. Or it will comfort me, I suppose, because you'll be eaten.
Well, let's just say I have some ancestral traditions that for dealing with predators of that sort.
Nicely said.
Now tell me, where's the nearest
It's like-
lake? There's a lake right by this place, right? I can swim away.
I thought Rastian tradition for escaping predators was to run on land.
Well, no,
Run
that's
back
the
onto
sea
land.
predators. You gotta go into the sea for the land predators.
So, as a police officer, can I requisition a gun that could actually kill things in case we do run into nightmare wolves?
Yes, you could. It's going to be some paperwork, and you can do that paperwork.
You mean Mark Van Campen could do that paperwork for me?
Yes, Mark Van Camden could do
I'm
that
gonna
paperwork
require
for
your
you.
signature, though.
Yes,
Give
I'll
me-
sign
give
it
me a
after you do all the
system.
fiddly bits.
Give me a system check to see if you can get a gun. I love this game.
Yeah.
Wait, was that your roll? Oh shit.
Oh, my systems for going through red tape is real good.
Yeah, okay, yeah. No, you get 2 guns.
What kind of
As
guns?
many guns as you need. So they're probably pretty standard. Fucking Lee, help me out here.
At
You know,
least tell us
So,
what kind of
alright.
guns the police officer would
What
actually
gun-
like being
All right.
killed
So,
and perhaps-
in a lot
Okay.
of parts of the Trinity, you would be issued lots of SCR pistols because they have a subdue option. However, welcome to New Neo Roanoke, there, partner. We got a whole lot of gun parts for some reason. So I would say they probably have on stock S7 service pistols and Trinity and Terran special revolvers and shotguns, and they have mostly tranq rounds for the gun and revolver and taser rounds for the shotgun, but they will issue you 1 load of lethals for each, and then 3 of tranq.
Okay, rewind to which 2 guns we're getting. Definitely we're getting.
You have
an
a
S-
choice. So do you want of this 3 shotgun, revolver, pistol? Which ones do you want?
I mean, what does a shotgun even do? I don't really.
Shotguns are close burst range weapons.
Yeah,
so,
but which shotgun? I guess the Heliocore one. Are there other ones? Yeah,
Heliocore 500.
I mean, I guess it's good, but it's very close range. I'm not really a shotgun person. I guess if someone else wants that, I don't. I think I have the Terran special.
sounds right.
Familiar family gun type.
Yeah, it's just a familiar
use-
family
All
gun.
right, so you've got a gun. You can get 1 gun for 1 other person. Which party members would be interested in a gun?
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, how good are you at shooting a gun?
That's an excellent question. It's been a while since I made this character, so.
Valine.
Give me a
Total
quick-
ballistics is 5 for reference.
Oh, I'm very bad at shooting a gun.
All right, what's your total ballistics, Max?
4.
Well, if we're hanging out based on ability,
Vully is probably getting the second gun.
All right,
Yeah.
Lee, you want a shotty? You want the boomstick or the pistol? I can tell you the boomstick might overcome your shortage of dice by just how many it gives in bonus.
Sure. We'll take the boomstick.
All right, I'll get you the stats real quick, but you all may continue play.
That.
Indeed. So, you get yourselves a gun.
Yeah, so because I also have a stun gun already, I'm gonna have the lethal rounds loaded, and if I'm not trying to kill something, I'll use the stun gun instead.
Very valid, very valid. So, everybody else settled in with their weaponry, and everybody good to go?
Violence goes against my calm nature.
Ah,
That's
yes.
funny.
I see. That's valid. You're a man of the people, and the people are peaceful these days.
Except for all the people that we've interacted with.
Except for all the people that are super dissatisfied with the way that things have gone so far.
All right, yeah. So let's go.
So, now the question is, you've requisitioned your weapons, and you've secured the use of a ship to get you out into the boonies. Who's driving? Are you going to get somebody to drive you late at night? Or are you going to do it yourselves?
Do we have anyone who knows how to drive?
Not really, no. That's why we had a driver last time. No one took operation.
But do we want
Here's
to
a
use that
question.
driver again now that it's like nighttime?
What was the question, Max?
No, it's a dumb question. I'm not going to ask it.
You can level up after this session, but
No, that wasn't the
Yes.
question. It was dumber than that.
Well,
Well-
look, we're choosing between sacrificing a certain level of privacy versus not being able to make a quick getaway because none of us can fucking drive.
millennial problems. I mean, the person with the highest
You're the
dice
expert
maneuver
in this
could
sort of
drive.
scenario, Ms. Donar. What would you suggest?
I mean, I think we should probably take a driver. Like, does it slightly sacrifice, I guess, but, I really think that if we need a getaway driver, it would be safer to have it for, the use civilian types. Like, driving a vehicle in a combat situation is not an improvisational skill. I say it from experience.
I would agree.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we
So
can't
you're
get
getting
a
a
driver,
driver.
we'd like that.
So you knock on the driver's door from earlier, and let me bring you to the map here. And y'all are just kind of like interested in acquiring her very, very useful skills after hours. And she looks you up and down as I find the token, and she says,
Thumbs up.
"Oh, it's a little late. What's in it from me?"
Money? Like,
Do we
I
have
don't
like
understand
petty
this.
cash?
Yeah, money too. You got I know y'all are Trinity officials, but sometimes one needs to grease some wheels here and there, with some
All right, clearly this is my role in the equation. I'm gonna slip her a few locks because these dokes don't like Raidus.
Do you actually slip her Lux, or are you slipping her Raidus?
I'll slip her locks. I'll slip her
I feel like
like.
there's a thriving Raidu market here. It's pretty easy to get
Yeah.
it exchanged.
Okay, well, I'm gonna slip her
When she-
Raidus then because fuck locks. I'm gonna
Yeah,
slip
I
her
was,
like 30
I was gonna
Raidus.
say she looks if you hand her Raidus, she's like, or if you hand her Lux, she's like, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna slip her like 30 Raidus.
She feels those smooth cylindrical structures underneath her fingers before accepting the exchange, and those cylinders find themselves in someone else's pockets than your own. And she looks you up and down. And she says, "You know what? I think the kids can wait a little longer. They know where dinner is. It's in the cabinets over there. All right, well, let's go. You are talking my language. All right." It's not like they haven't fished cabinet food out before. Okay, let's go.
Well, we all feel guilty now if this woman gets killed because we brought her on our dangerous secret mission, leaving her children motherless.
Mom over here. All right, let's go. The Cabinet Fu kids are gonna wait for this whole mission to
Now,
go about.
where does she live? Does she live in the towers? Does she live in the yards?
She lives in Old Town,
She lives
out
in
by
Old Town.
Marcus Khan's exchange.
Out by Marcus Khan on the Exchange East, the least visited.
She was on her way home. You know.
Damn. All right. Oh shit. She's gonna drive this rover out on the fucking highway, I guess.
Yeah.
And an R1. She get the interchange and.
Well, I mean, like
They're
no,
the
so like
opposite side of Old
like,
Town.
you're not going to her house necessarily. You probably caught her at Connection East or whatever. But like she had her jacket on. She was a foot out the door, and you got her at the end of the shift. And you handed her some language that she spoke, and could also physically touch.
Mhm.
And
It's her
and
love
then
language.
She was very understanding. Yes, given your love language, communication. And she decided that the door didn't need to open in that particular direction, and she opened the hangar door instead. And now we're here. As she pilots you off to the land of Never Never, /or a repeat of the Shantytown map minus the citizens.
Best of maps.
Yes. Enjoy.
That map was a freaking trip to watch load in on Roll20 because there's all the bits popping in.
And since they're all separate, it like popped in at different times.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice.
It is fun to see Lee's handiwork. Brought
All right, we roll up, and I'm like, okay, so where this place at though?
So yeah, you have to in the process pass by Rastown, which by the way is booming at this time of night. The lights are on. The city is, or the small town is bustling. There's more lights than you might expect in the town.
I wonder how they make power out.
Not like in a there's more people sort of way, but just like there's more light.
They're getting power out here somehow, and lots of it.
And lots of it. So the woman, the mom of the year, who I realize now I probably named last week, but I'm going to give her another name now. I'm just going to call her Jan because that's an easy name for me to remember. It's what I would name my child if I had a child that I didn't hate. No, Jan.
I mean, are you sure you don't hate a child that you would name Jan?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the same question.
I absolutely hate children. That's for sure. So.
Jan,
What I can say is, Jan.
Are there any Jans in the chat? I don't apologize.
Any Jans in the chat? Sorry for what I am and who I am.
Are
But
you
anyway.
including people named Jan as Jans?
No, Jan, I'm here for. Jan.
No. Yes.
Mhm.
But anyway, love you, Jan Salzwedel. You are my best friend, and I'm so supportive of you in your career as I'm assuming, automobilist in Germany? I don't know. Anyway, Jan, who is not Jan, pilots you out towards the boonies. You pass by the brighter than expected Rastown, and here you are. It takes a while to find the place, God. You don't have a good, accurate map that directs you to the place, but Jan does her best to find what you're talking about. And she gets it pretty close, but I'm going to need an operations check from one of you.
What?
To direct you to this map point. Maybe it's a systems check. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's a screwed.
I'll entertain either a scrutiny or a systems check to find this point on the map.
They're both 10 for me. Is anyone higher than that?
No.
Say that again. I have a 9 for scrutiny.
Okay, I think I'm higher. 'Cause I have 10 for both scrutiny and systems.
Shoot.
Pretty good.
I
Okay.
barely make it. That I
Love
definitely panic.
Yeah. So you find this point on the
used to
map.
being out at night. You have your warm cocoa and your paperwork in bed in this hour.
Yeah, no, so it's all of these things that that Madeline just mentioned, combined with the fact that there is a hustle and bustle outside the location that you find on the map that you were not expecting. There are figures moving about, human figures dressed in armor, as well as, you assume, Rast. And other things, moving lights, dark, shadowy figures walking on multiple limbs. Are they figures or machines? It's hard to tell.
Really ambitious stilt mafia. See?
It's dark, and the only lights that you can see are from the building that you've identified. There are shadowy things moving about, and you kind of get stressed out. This is not in your wheelhouse whatsoever. You are a bureaucrat. You live to uphold the system. This is so fucking far from the system that you have absolutely no grounding here. You can look at a map and you can find the place that you're going to. When you're there, this is not home. This is not your ball, this is not your ball ground. This is nothing you're familiar with. And kind of lose it. You drop your slate when you see the shadowy figures moving. This is danger.
My life.
You drop your slate, you go up the typical amount of or you lose your ability to succeed in this particular manner again. Sorry, you go down -2 on your next roll of this nature, and you go up a stress or an edge.
Eek.
And
There's
your
lots of
slate
people
falls
over there,
to
but
the
it's right
ground
over
and
there. It's right
cracks.
over there. I say as I go down and I just pick up my slate and I sit down in one of them chairs.
Your slate now has a very prominent crack mark on it.
Oof.
Don't worry, they'll
It's
actually
interfering
repair
with
those
your
rather
ability
than
to-
making you buy a new one in the Trinity. We've achieved that technology.
The technology of any cell phone repair store. Yeah, I mean it's good.
There's technology that allows you to repair that?
Oh god, that's horrible. Okay. All right. Score. All right. Clearly some suspicious activity here.
Yes. Let me make let me put this on the okay. So draw shape and let me see. I'm trying to make a kind of pure black token for the. There we are.
You. Beep boop. Sorry, boop boop. God, all of your names are so terrible.
Waddle bean boop boop.
You, Mr. Boop Boop. You can sneak,
Yeah.
right? You're harassed.
I mean, I resent the implication that purely because I'm harassed, I am somehow stealthy. I feel like there's a lot of problematic thoughts happening in the populace that's pointed towards harass, but yes, I can sneak.
All right. Yeah, I'd like you to sneak a little closer and see if you can give us better information and, the odds of us being able to sneak in as a collective. Also, ideally, if you could find some sort of computer for Mr. Van Kampen once he's recovered his dignity to crack into, or whatever hackers do.
Fair enough. All right. I go stealth mode. Yay.
Hey, you do a sneak on Hackerino. All right, Heck and Sneakerino. Sorry.
Sneak in Hectorino.
Sneak and Hackerino. God,
I do already say that. I sneak up. I'm like, heck.
Okay. Yeah. So you manage to slip by a number of the shadowy figures that are patrolling the exterior. You notice that some of them are walking on all fours and seem to be mechanically stilted in their movement, almost as if they are
The wolves.
Yeah.
wolves. Yes. But you manage to slip by them, and you find yourself a nice back entrance to the the facility. Grab you. Sneaking you on through. Alright, there we go. Okay. You find yourself.
I can imagine that's how Rast yachts sound as they fly along through space.
Yes, that's how Rast ships move. And you find yourself inside the facility, and it's larger than what is depicted here. It's like a proper fucking military facility, although only part of it is like operational at the moment. And people move through the computer rooms and out of them, as if doing things. But all the computer monitors are glowing green, as if they're on. This is clearly a place that people are operating out of. And while you snuck by here, you notice a large engine from one of the defunct ships is cooking with gas, and it is fully functional. And you see the power lines operating the ship. It's very easy to put two and two together.
All right, that's where they're getting the power, I suppose.
Yeah.
I see the various computers. Well, I don't know what to do. I don't know nothing about no computers.
They are glowing green, and you are the only person sneaky enough to hide underneath the desks as people walk by. Probably.
All right, here's
information.
Or find out more without being noticed.
That could say.
Okay. Here's. I mean, I guess what I'll try to do is sneak up to a computer that is kind of secluded enough I could spend a moment poking around on it and just see what I can find, just like sitting around on the desktop.
Suspicious secret plans, older one.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, if they think their facility is secure and secret enough, they might not bother with, password protecting the files.
Yeah, or I mean, maybe they'll have it in the porn folder. That's where everyone hides their secret.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. One way or another, that's the folder I'm looking in first.
Yeah,
Either way, it's a win.
Large number of Rast outside. You would probably assume that there's some sort of cultural norms that you could cue into if you want to guess a password.
True. Maybe you could stormtrooper it, but just by being harassed.
So,
that's a good point.
Roll me a systems. No modifier.
Systems. Oh, I'm worse at systems than I am sneaking.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you think using a computer is, but it's not sneaking.
I do a bad job.
That is unfortunate.
Oh, that's funny.
Whop whop! The first time you don't play a hacker.
I mean, I was trying to avoid hacking. I just wanted to see what was on the desktop.
Yeah, well, I mean, using a computer to find anything at all pretty much is a systems check. So,
that's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't really entail hacking. But yeah, you snoop around on the computer and you find. I'll tell you what you do find. You find that there is an ongoing activity. It's just like sifting through data. It is like calculating a number of things, and it looks like it is kind of just like. It honestly looks like it's creating. What sort of context do you have for computer-related things?
I mean, I've definitely worked with hackers on election integrity before. And my characters are completely computer illiterate. It's just they specialize more in the personal aspects.
Viruses and fake advertisements to spam computers with.
Interesting. Like, can I see the content of the ads?
It's like straight up garbage. It is meaningless data intended to overwhelm circuits and stuff.
And where is it being sent to?
It looks like it's being sent to a number of different locations, but it's mostly just generating these ads and stuff so that they could be dropped at moment's notice if somebody were to press the right button.
Interesting. I think I know exactly where this is going. All right.
You
I got
also
some info.
Yeah,
Okay.
you find a number of connections to which it could be sent, and at that moment, somebody walks in, and you go up an edge. You have a -2 to systems as somebody, a Rast, is staring straight at you.
Should we take us to the theater of the mind, or?
What? We got a map for this. This is fine. I can just drop any Rastian token on the board.
Okay.
I mean, why don't you give me a Rast token that isn't?
This isn't what I'm using.
I'm assuming you're on the right map, right? I haven't actually looked at the. Yeah. Just give me a Rast here.
All right. So I immediately go straight into. I don't want to say con mode, but that.
New
I try to arrest any signs of panic, and then just gonna casually and be like, night shift. Am I right?
He looks you up and down. And he says, "Yeah. Say, are you new? I'm not sure I've seen that fancy suit around before."
I'm like, oh yeah, a recent transfer in. Figure I probably want to store it somewhere safe, given gestures around at the general decay and filth of this planet.
Yeah. I mean, it does look like the backside of a Venus asshole, but it is it gets homey. I'm on the subject. When did you transfer in? 'Cause I don't remember the last time I saw a new face around here. Give me a communicate.
Well, okay. We're gonna do communications. Yeah. All right. Now my clothing gives me a bonus to situations where it's not entirely inappropriate. Is this entirely inappropriate?
This is the only time I'm going to say that your glamorous garb is actually doing you under.
All right, that's totally fair. I do fine anyway.
It does not. Yeah, it doesn't benefit you, but you fucking smooth talk the hell out of this situation.
I'm like, dude, it's totally right. We use stealth ships. You can't see the shipments coming in. That's the whole point.
Hey, you say that, and he says, "Oh, yeah, obviously. Shit, I'm sorry. Are you from up top? My bad. You must have come in on the other ship. Ah, hell. Cascada's got me all fucked up. I'm sorry. So what's the deal, though? Why are you back here?"
I don't know. Some politics back at the home office.
Oh, I see. You got yourself situated up nice with the rest of the uptight folks. I got you. All right. So,
sometimes you gotta get your paws dirty.
And we all got our paws dirty for the cause. That's right.
Indeed.
So, what's Cascada got you doing up tops? Up towards the development. Anything
Oh, they don't like us talking about that.
but it's just us fellas. Like, come on, give me the details. They don't tell me shit.
See, now I have to take a big gamble. Do I try to guess what they're doing and make up a role in it? Or do I just keep trying to deflect?
I mean, maybe get him to tell you something first, so if you fuck up, at least you'll get that piece of information.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I like to, I'm a big fan of conversations. I'm a conversationalist, as they say.
As I can see. You're fucking conversating me under the table.
I mean, I'd love doing some stuff under the table if you catch my drift.
Maybe later.
But you know what what do you do around here? I hate talking about myself.
Okay, fancy highfalutin comes down here on one of them stealth ships, that motherfucker. All right. I mean, like, look, it's the same operation y'all might have expected otherwise. We're just making sure that the plan goes as is, friend. We're trying to make sure that everything goes the way we intend it to.
And we got enough product, wink, wink, to deliver, wink, wink.
Yeah, we've got tons of product. As long as everything goes according to plan, our product will ensure that next week's event is gonna have some hiccups, and we burp the baby just the way she needs to be burped to get the right result. But you know, making people out of nothing ain't easy, so we gotta work day and night on this shit.
Yeah. Well, no, just between you and me. You ever like put any little jokes into some of the files? I mean, come on, sending out millions of them. You gotta put a little funny thing in one or two.
I mean, it's really only a couple hundred, but you know, yeah, I fuck around sometimes. You know, it's good shit. It's only really funny though if you like speak Rhenish and like you know the only one dialect, the very 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 specific niche, right? But like you know,
as long as we're laughing, who cares?
Exactly. They won't get some of the nuance. Them folks over in the sea when they read the reports and they figure out what we've done. They won't get the jokes, but we will. Yeah, but
I mean, it will be nice to
we'll be long
show some of them. I do a little like hand symbol to represent the Trinity. I don't know why I feel like that's something people would do. Nice to show some of them folks.
Just like a straight up triangle with your hands.
Yeah, that's what I would think. You know, some of these guys, you know, real dicks on this planet. It'd be nice to make them choke on it.
Wow, I feel called out.
Real dicks. What are you, a human empire sympathist? Yeah, so the conversation actually goes really smoothly. Like he buys your fucking from Topside, and you know after talking a little bit about himself, he's like, all right. So you haven't yet told me what's the deal. You came in here on one of them ships. Obviously working with the obviously working with the Scusa, but came in with real fancy ships. Like so what's the deal? Why are you here? I mean, if you've got a job out or urban side, why are you?
You know, just trying to keep us on the down low. But after talking with you, I can tell you're one of the good ones. I'm doing an audit.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Wait.
Guys up top. You know, they don't suspect nothing, but you know they like to keep an eye on things every once in a while. Not supposed to tell anyone, but I can tell you one of the good ones.
Wait. Slow down here, real quick. You're auditing Cascada for the Scusa?
I'm just checking up on the operation, making sure everything is going all right.
Should I be worried about my tenure?
No, you ain't got to be worried about nothing. I can tell from the conversation we had, you're cream of the crop.
Right, but like you wouldn't tell me if that was otherwise.
I wouldn't tell you I was doing an audit if it was otherwise.
That's fair. That's fair.
If this conversation went poorly, trust me, there won't be much more conversating to do.
All right, Mr. Auditor. Why don't you go about your business and I never saw you.
Yeah. Do me a real quick favor. I was never here. Gotta keep them on their toes.
I mean, not every stealth ship needs to be reported to Cascada after all. I understand. She doesn't have all of them. All right. Go on about your business. I'm sorry I interrupted. I'll give you a minute. in the
All right. Yeah.
Auditing.
Once he's out, I'm gonna duck.
professional. You know that. Yeah, he walks out and he closes the door. You actually secured yourself a lot more time on this computer than you thought you had.
Oh shit! Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll poke around some more while I'm here.
Download this shit for our actual computer expert.
Or
Ooh,
connect.
yes,
to
I
the
will
internet.
copy the
Connect it
hard
to
drive.
his computer system. Like, there's so many things more useful you could do than personally fucking around with it.
I will make
Yeah.
a copy of the hard drive onto my slate.
Excellent. And you copy that whole thing down, and the shadows
I have to
and
delete
shapes
some of my
move around.
weirder files. Wink, wink. If you catch my drift, but I make room.
Wow,
Fair-
kind of
fair
new downloads poor.
Hey, the Trinity ain't got some of the stuff I like. You gotta keep it when you're traveling for business.
Yeah, no. So the I mean, you know, they have a pretty wide selection. I will
Yeah, I was
say
just
they
saying.
have a pretty. The
I'm
Trinity
saying,
has a
they
very
have to
wide
wait. They
selection.
have to go through like the review boards, the new Rastian flicks. Sometimes it's faster to just download the mothership and
All
get
right,
an
I
idea
mean,
myself.
I guess they probably don't have the most current Rastian, or especially Rinish. Okay, you know what? I understand. You probably got some new shit from Rin. I
He
got
needs to stay
Yeah.
up to date on his porn.
Yeah, no,
To
the
the
new shit
minute.
from Rin, it takes a
Right.
while to
I mean,
set.
that's
I mean,
true.
it's a
Like,
really
they're
good bargaining
simultaneously
chip in the right
producing
circles.
an HBO quality show and then the pornier version of that show.
Rin produces both, baby. You got
Yeah,
it born in the
they
market.
They've already got all
Oh
the
my
props,
goodness.
costumes, and sets. Why not?
Exactly. They use it once for the HBO version, and they do it a second time for the OnlyFans. It makes sense. Okay.
Lines.
Yeah. So you
So
got.
yeah,
you-
I mean,
you
once I get
closed
the
off-
files, they're gonna try
hold on,
to
show me
vamoose.
slate. Your slate is now basically a straight up copy of the computer, and you don't hear anybody else coming by. You bought yourself some serious time. I mean, look at how many communicates you got. Just look at that success roll. I'm not gonna sell you under the table for that. Nah, you got something good going there. But yeah, no, you managed to talk your way out of this. And you sift into the shadows, and the shadows sift and sort themselves around you as you find yourself back at the location everybody else was at.
Awesome. So I return, and I'm like, "Hello," speaking boring Trinity again. Hello.
Mr.
Um,
Boop Boop. What have you
So,
discovered?
a few updates. One, people in there, super friendly. Probably not to you guys, but, got a little great. Two, I look at Mark and I'm like, I got all the files. I don't know what to do with them,
Okay.
but I got some. Three, I think I knows what's their doings, and I think I knows who's involved. I also think we shouldn't hang around here for too long.
Okay.
Understood.
You know what? Let's start driving. Thank you for reporting those in order of inverse relevance. That's really how I like my information delivered. What do you think
Well,
they're
it's-
doing?
Give
It's
me
an
the
old Rastian
files.
tradition. You gotta keep them wanting more.
Give me the files.
I say, they're all. Do you have like a USB cable to like transfer them?
I mean,
You could
probably,
just like
yeah.
tap your phone to each or
Can like
tap your
airdrop?
phone
I like
to the other.
airdrop them, and it's like a big old file.
Yeah, it's just.
And I say, here's what I think's goes on.
Yeah, you say this as you're on your way out. By the way, some of those moving shapes do follow you for a time.
Ugh.
The four-legged ones,
Well, that's disconcerting.
but they stop, or at least you don't see them any longer.
I mean, I would say,
So-
like, distract them, but like we're going back to town. It's a giant place that doesn't really say anything special. And I assume they
So,
won't go
the,
into town,
Hopefully not.
or they'd be pretty obvious.
So here's what I was able to pick up while poking around in those systems. They're generating via AI a lot of garbage data. Just a whole bunch of nonsense formatted to look like ads and spam messages and the like. What I think they're gonna do, based on an enlightening conversation I had with an accommodating fellow, is they're gonna send that out to certain demographics comm boxes on election time. sort of cause network crashes, cause people to not be able to get to the virtual ballot boxes.
So you think their diabolical plan is to disenfranchise voters, not to
Disenfranchise the correct voters.
But comm boxes are the lower tier thing. There should be the people from these communities, the people who are supposedly supporting Storm. Or do you think they're just trying to like cut off Garcia's support because she handed out a lot of comm boxes?
Could be. Hard for me to say. Maybe Mr. Data there can tell you more. But I can tell you kind of some of the players involved. So I heard her name a few times. A certain Mama Cascada.
Do any of us know anything
Definitely.
about her? Have we heard about her before?
So yeah, you actually met one of her underlings.
I know we've heard the name before from Aras.
Last time. Yeah, you met one of the she probably referred to herself as Mama Cascada last week, but she would definitely have referred to herself, had I my shit together, as one of the daughters of Mama Cascada.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is clearly a Mama Cascada op. Under the auspices, so to speak, of the
But, like,
Squeezer.
other than that, do we know anything about Mama Cascada and the kind of shit she's normally up to?
I mean, yeah, no. So she's as it's stated in the document, she's a crime boss basically. She's part of the Scusa, which is a large family of Erastian criminals originating from the home ship Rin, and in general, she toes the family line. She herself is very ambitious and eager to assume the position of leader of the Cascada, or of the Scusa, but it is a large organization, and she is very prominent within it. Basically, mafia shit.
So that was why the person was so worried when the Scusa was possibly, auditing Cascada, not just the operation.
Yeah, she's a prominent member within the family.
I mean, I really hope that rattled her. That would be, useful.
I mean, I did tell him not to say anything, but you never know.
Well, I mean, I assume that you
Rasper
told him that
knows
means
for
he's going to
keeping their
immediately
word
report it
100%
to,
of the
gain
time.
loyalty points, and also in case this is a test of his loyalty, and now reporting it would get him murdered.
It's possible. It could go either, because he could also think that if she actually is on the ropes with the larger Scusa, reporting it would put him on the shaking ship of her.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this guy's probably going to have a really bad night of uncertainty and terror.
Yeah. Raise the stress levels to max.
And as he was
You
having
just
that
ruined
pleasant
one
conversation
person's
with you,
next
Edge
week.
goes doot 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 doot.
Man, I talked to two different people to get information. One of them is going to have a good time real soon. This one's having a baddie time.
Yeah, yeah. But hey, you got shit out of it. So I would ask Mark.
It's almost
how
like
soon-
you have a polarizing character or something.
I mean, yeah, but I'm also role-playing as one.
Wow. Ouch.
I mean, that's not even an ouch. That's something I've recognized a long time ago.
Delph burn. Rare these days, but it checks out.
I assume you're
Um,
saying you want me to roll a systems on the data?
That's what I was gonna ask. Yeah, how soon do you do that? While you're on the trip? It's gonna take.
I will,
hours.
yeah, be doing that in the car.
Yeah, give me assistance.
Ooh, it's very stressful. I need my hot cocoa.
Yeah, so I'll
And
tell
by
you what
hot
you get with
cocoa,
that
I mean hot
success.
cocoa with just like a little bit of alcohol in it. Not much, just a little bit.
So you get everything that Max just told you. They're clearly sending junk mail out to people, and they can just push the button whenever they like to totally throw off any number of systems, particularly those that they've invaded. But you feel as though they've invaded the network at large, and they could queue this at any time for whomever they like. They just have to know a certain demographic to target.
Okay.
And the thing that actually throws you off is that there's going to be a meeting, and it's on their agenda, but not something that you have, that you are aware of. But tonight, like basically midnight, there is going to be a meeting. And it's weird that it's on their agenda because it doesn't pertain to the Rast as far as you're aware at all. Between Madame Storm and a representative from the Human Rights Campaign in the Guards.
That should be that's not filed. That's
It is not filed at
that's
all.
not filed.
What's not filed?
The Ms. Storm and the Human Rights Campaign are having a meeting according to this, but it's not filed.
Whoa.
It's not right. It's
Okay,
dangerous.
And where is it? That sounds,
It's at midnight. Do I get any other information besides just at midnight?
It's at midnight in a warehouse in the Yards.
do we have time to get there?
You would have time to send a representative there, yes.
So that means we can't personally go. We have to send someone else.
No. You can personally go. Yeah, you have time, just barely.
All right, and I'd like hand boop. So dumb. Some another 30.
The Rasty discrimination.
Drive the driver, and I'm like, we're gonna go somewhere else now.
All right.
I'm staying in the car.
And I look
All
at
right.
him like, that's probably for the best. And I'm like, you do pretty badly off. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't leave the car at a last stop.
Yes, that's because there were those dog those dog robots out there, and I didn't finish my program yet because I
Hey,
didn't
chubby
go
hon.
home to my coffee to do the program.
I thought you were here when, during the war or after, didn't you be at least a little badass? One teeny tiny bone in your body?
Should your ass be at least slightly bad?
I was in the city in the aftermath. It's when I learned that violence is really bad and dumb, and it ends up with just mindless destruction. And bureaucracy is good because it saves us from violence.
Oh, you're not kidding. Oh, well, that's one philosophy to take away, I guess, because, the human empire didn't have any bureaucracy at all. It's never been a contributing factor in conflict.
That's what's so great about us Rast. We don't do no bureaucracy. It's just all deals and handshakes.
Okay, corrupt bureaucracy is still bureaucracy.
Hey.
It's
It's not corrupt bureaucracy. It's just corruption. We don't even bother with the official positions for
The
it.
issue with most things that have a bureaucracy is corruption of people attempting to subvert or go around said bureaucracy to gain personal power. Therefore, if people just listen to the bureaucracy and work through the bureaucracy righteously, there would never be any conflict.
Yeah, and if people never wanted anything they shouldn't want or, sought to gain it through violence, we'd have world peace. And, we still mostly don't. Look at the rising human separatists and how content they are with their lot in life.
Well, with that settled.
And this is,
Yeah.
you're right. We shouldn't get into our own political views. I, will not be revealing to y'all who I'm voting for in this election.
I'm not allowed to vote in this election.
Yes, you are not a legal resident of this planet.
I believe we've just uncovered some very urgent information to follow up on.
Yeah, I assumed that we were driving as we were having this conversation.
Yeah, indeed. Information that you will get a chance to touch up on Wednesday.
Pat.
Oh, so it's this one?
God.
I thought it was
Pat,
next.
was it?
Yeah, no, Pat, I was really worried about that. You know we have one more session of this before that, right?
Ah, sorry. It's actually happening 2 days from now that you can have an opportunity to touch up on 2 days from now
So
on
we're heading
Wednesday.
back home.
We're taking a step back. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, no, that information was informed to you that she's having a meeting next. Yeah, 2 days from now. 2 days from now. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, got the timing wrong. Things happening 2 days from now. Sorry. You got some time. You got some time. You got some time. No need to hand anybody any money. But you'll maybe have that conversation still, minus the urgency.
Alrighty. And that means we can all go home.
Yes, and on that note,
or I don't know where you off-world, or you foreigners are staying. You can go back to where you're staying.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel silly letting that even happen. But yeah, no, you have some time to progress. And I think on that note, I will close it for the night because I kind of did just speak incorrectly, and it's kind of embarrassing, and we'll rectify that in post.
All right. So do you want to do anything, or are we hitting the raid?
Yeah, I think we're good. And so yeah, that was the session for the night. Mark, you're gonna go up everybody around you is going to go up an edge, and you yourself are going to take a -2 systems. But since you're not doing anything late at night, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. You can all just have a nice night's sleep.
So we're picking back up next week in the morning.
Yes, exactly.
All right, I'm gonna hit that raid to Mad Bird Streams, right?
All right, yeah, exciting. I'm gonna use the bathroom, but thank you all for coming out. If you don't know about the system already, it's Change Stars.
Farewell, watching friends.
Thank you all for coming out. I love you.
Farewell.
I'm hitting raid now.